Lost in the Script, episode 67.
66, nigga.
Sorry, 67. 66. Damn.
Fam. Another week on the backup channel. We should be back on the main channel next weekend.
We out of jail this Wednesday.
Yeah, or Thursday. I don't know if it's gonna be Thursday or
one of them.
Anyway, man, hopefully y'all had a good week. A lot of stuff going on. Definitely wished we was able to go to the main channel for some of these topics, but it's whatever. We'll go ahead and get started. First up, we're gonna just jump. We're not really gonna talk about this much. This is just gonna be a theme that we've been talking about for the past month or so.
Mm-hmm.
Of strange
events taking place around the world.
Yeah,
people acting strange.
Yeah. Let me just show this right quick. You see here it says, a mysterious radio signal has been detected from a distant galaxy, MIT says.
A mysterious radio signal.
Yeah, the astronomers have detected an unusual radio signal from a far-off galaxy, according to MIT officials. The signal is a fast radio burst, an intensely strong burst on radio waves. The Massachusetts Institute of Technology said in a statement, usually the mysterious signals last for a few milliseconds at most, but this one lasted up to 3 seconds and included bursts of radio waves every 0.2 seconds in a clear periodic pattern.
There's some solar storms that's supposed to be going on this weekend too.
Yeah. So
hitting the planet. It's supposed to feel like a tsunami.
We'll see about that. That's just, we just point that out. Strange things is happening throughout the week. But anyway, we're going to move on to the starting topic. We're going to go with, the war is over, I guess. The war is over, right?
Is the war over?
No, the battle with Netflix has to be over since we know she settled in court.
And she getting her special.
As you can hear, Monique to film first Netflix comedy special after streamer settles discrimination retaliation lawsuit.
Would you want to film on a network that you felt like discriminated against you?
I guess if you want to say in the sense of just business.
So she's not thinking emotional. She's thinking about her money.
Yeah. Now I'm going to show her promo for her special here. Alrighty then.
Can y'all believe this shit? Can y'all believe this shit? I done came on home to Netflix.
Home.
Same woman that asked you to boycott Netflix.
This is where it goes to the situation where people use their race for leverage.
Is that what she did?
Let's be honest.
Or was she really discriminated?
I'm not saying
she felt.
I'm not saying she wasn't discriminated against. I'm saying she used leverage. So now all those people who you told to cancel their subscription, you told people that
they didn't cancel.
There were some people that did. I'm sure somebody did. Now those same people, you're telling them to resubscribe so they can watch the special.
I wouldn't do it.
I'm just saying it looks a certain way. Hold on, this thing is not loading.
Yeah, typical what's going on. Internet moving slow, stuff loading.
Well, I'm pretty sure y'all already saw the intro anyway. But
there you go.
Well, no, this is the Hollywood News Report. And, they're giving a little breakdown on it.
Can y'all believe this shit? Can y'all believe this shit? I done came on home to Netflix.
All right, it's just not going on. So now she's with Netflix, as you can see here. Monique, the comedian who received a settlement from Netflix after she accused the streamers of systematically underpaying black women, is set to film her first comedy special for Netflix. In a video shared with the streamer's social media accounts Tuesday, the comedian opened with, "Can y'all believe the shit? I've done come home to Netflix." Additional details about the currently untitled Monique special are expected to be released at a later date. Last month, Netflix settled with Monique for an undisclosed sum after comedian-led streamer lowballed her with an opening offer of $500,000 for a 1-hour show, to which Netflix would have complete copyright and audio-only rights. After the comedian said the offer was discriminatory, her complaint alleged that Netflix retaliated by shutting down any further negotiations on the show. The complaint also pointed to 8-figure deals that Netflix has made to Dave Chappelle, Chris Rock, Amy Schumer, who allegedly were paid 26 times more than what Monique was offered. So we know the
To
story.
share that I'll be shooting.
We know the story, how it went, right? I guess
and
I'll say.
also, Lee Daniels is directing it.
Well, she said they're working with Lee Daniels. I don't know if Lee Daniels is going to direct her comedy special.
I'm pretty sure he's gonna be directing it.
No, I think she has something else with him.
No, she said Lee Daniels is gonna be directing it.
Directing her comedy special?
Yeah, let the video continue to play.
It's lagging right now.
Okay.
So she had Lee Daniels. How you direct a comedy special?
Just hit the button to make sure.
No, I'm asking you, how do you direct a comedy special?
Film, direct, I mean.
I don't know. But that's besides the point. She's working with him again.
She working with him again.
I'm going to say this. When this is released.
It better be good.
It better be the best she's ever had. Because if it's not.
Because they waiting. Corey Hogan is waiting.
Ain't just Corey. It's a lot of people.
We know Comedy Hype is waiting.
Comedy Hype had a video on this immediately. 2, actually. They did a video on her and the reactions across the internet. I was like, damn. But I will say, she has a lot of pressure on her to
perform well.
Because if this isn't good, a lot of people going to say, see, that's why. Speaking of getting paid good, Will Smith scores major payday for Apple TV Plus film Emancipation. Now, I remember, for this movie, you can go ahead and say it, he's getting paid $35 million. I don't know if he's ever made $35 million up front for a movie. So that's not including the pay once the movie is released and getting paid based off sales and all that stuff. So $35 million up front. And I thought he was supposed to be canceled after the Chris Rock thing.
Clearly he wasn't canceled.
Well, he helped Chris Rock money go up 10 times 10. When next thing you know, his show prices was way higher than they were originally.
Yeah, after that slap, they dramatically went up in
in money, in monetary value.
Went up.
Yeah, but also I remember when Will Smith said he would never do a slavery movie. So I wonder if that has anything to do with why they paid him so much money to do this.
Possibly,
because he said he would never do one. So in order to do one,
they had to pull out
they had to bring out the bank trucks. It's like, God damn, $35 million up front. Now,
it also means that they feel like they're gonna get their money back.
And that goes back to what we both said after the Oscars event. We said after that slap, he's gonna come back with some redemptive arc, should I say, where he's gonna come back with a movie that's gonna be so critically acclaimed that he might win an Oscar while being banned from the Oscars.
Can you be nominated for an Oscar?
Yeah, you can't.
Banned from the Oscar.
He can still be nominated and win. Now,
okay, Jada will pick it up.
That's what I'm about to say.
She'll grab his Oscar for him.
Now, the storyline could go, he wins the award, and Jada Pinkett is the one who accepts it for him and reads his speech for him. Talk about 360. All right. Dave Chappelle show in Minneapolis tonight canceled amidst transphobic remarks backlash. Legendary venue immortalized in Prince's Purple Rain. So you ban him from a venue that his friend immortalized.
Is that his friend?
Yeah, Prince and him were pretty close, as far as we know, in the public at least. They were pretty close. So now they didn't really ban the show; they just moved it to another venue. So nothing really happened. The people who purchased tickets, they simply were given off to another venue, and they still went to the show. Nothing changed. Then they said that people are going to protest that show at that venue.
But it didn't happen.
No, the show hasn't happened yet.
Oh, the show hasn't happened. Okay.
And this place, the reason why they said they couldn't have him there is because the staff said they weren't going to work if he was to host the show there.
Well, they're entitled to protest and not want to be around somebody that they feel they don't want to be around. It's silly, but
this storyline is stupid.
I mean, I'm just, that's customer service. It's
It's your job.
It's your job. I mean, what if a trans person was hosting a comedy show there, and you have people that don't agree with their lifestyle?
They have to do that though.
I think,
They would have to do that then.
Yeah, but I think that the story would be different. But they would be saying they don't want to work around the LGBTQ people. So remember that.
Yeah, remember that. But it's it's not gonna really mean anything in the future. Kevin Samuels' death caused by a silent killer of the black people.
It's not a silent killer of the black community.
It is.
No, a lot of us have high blood pressure.
No, the point they're making is it's hard to get signs of it. It's not something that's easy to read. That's what they were saying in the article.
Eating high sodium foods, legs, feet swelled up, face puffy.
That's not just high blood pressure. That's diabetes. I mean, not all of those signs are diabetes. I didn't say they were all.
Diabetes is normally when your face when you get like dark areas in your face and stuff. Not necessarily when it's like puffy and.
That's not what I was saying. I was saying those.
Okay.
It's more like diabetes. Cause of death for Kevin Samuels revealed Monday, according to the Fulton County Medical Examiner Office. The controversial YouTube personality died due to hypertension, which is another name for high blood pressure. Medical examiner notes also revealed Samuels was taking medication for hypertension. Evidence of hypertension includes a heart whose chambers are thicker than normal. The examiner told TMZ. The self-proclaimed relationship guru and image consultant died on May 5th of collapsing. They told how he died. Hypertension is often one of the silent killers in the medical community because it does not always have symptoms and therefore can be hard to detect. According to the American Heart Association, about 55% of black adults have high blood pressure. Black people also have disproportionately high rates of more severe HBP and develops early in life. Lack of access to care, lack of access to healthy foods, and other societal issues play a huge factor in the disproportionate rates of hypertension among black people.
We know we the highest in everything.
Now, the rest of this article pretty much talked about his YouTube channel and the controversy. They didn't even give a damn.
It got nothing to do with why he died.
They went straight into
just
that.
found a reason to.
Yeah, they just
say something negative.
They went and got a quote. The way Samuels is viewed in death is the direct, unfiltered reflection of a disreputable legacy left behind from the life he chose to live, said Ikemini Uwan,
not a black American,
a theologian and co-author of The Truth Table, Black Women's Musing of Life, Love, and Liberation, in a statement to News One. Now, why did you get a statement from this woman to talk about Kevin Samuels' death? Why? No, not his death, but high blood pressure. What the fuck they got to do? Kevin Samuels preyed on the desires of black women and built his platform by making us a target of his misogynoir and sexist views. As a result, he poisoned the discourse between black women.
They were the ones that kept going back and forth. They the one that kept going on the show. They chose to go on the show. Nobody forced them their hand to go on the show. If you don't want to make somebody irrelevant and popular, don't go on their show. Pretty simple.
He was talking to dudes for years and
exactly, and it didn't pop off like it did when he started going at the female audience. So, if y'all wanted to get his ass up out of here, stop going on the show.
All right. Speaking of, because when I saw this video, it made me think. This is a Father's Day speech by Bishop T.D. Jakes. We just talked about Creflo Dollar admitting in the black church that ties, the way he's been teaching it or preaching it, has not been correct.
He didn't say but he said he wasn't going to apologize, didn't he?
No, he said he's not going to apologize because it helped him come to the understanding he got now.
So no repentance.
What do you mean no repentance?
He didn't repent. Repent means that you're sorry.
I don't know. But so I said, what's going on in church when you got them saying that tithes, the way they're teaching, is not correct? Then I saw this right here on Twitter recently. For some reason this is from Father's Day, but for some reason it was brought up again. I don't know why. I guess people didn't see it when it happened live. But this is T.D. Jakes speaking on the relationship between he says women and men in the community, but it's clear who he's talking about, obviously. So let's just look at what he had to say.
This breaks all sociological orders of the culture we're living in now. because we are raising up women to be men.
But are we raising men to be men?
No.
So it's kind of both ways, ain't it?
Yeah.
And you are not applauded for your femininity. You are applauded in the contemporary society by how tough, rough, nasty, mean, aggressive, hateful, possessive you are, and you are climbing the corporate ladder, but we are losing our families.
Now, when he made that comment about be tough, rough, people kept saying that he was ascribing those personality traits to men, but he wasn't. He was saying those are the traits you need to survive in corporate America. That's what I saw that as.
Yeah.
In corporate America, you cannot trust no one. You have to be a backstabber. You have to
like
be cutthroat.
Survivor.
You have to be a cutthroat. He didn't. When I heard this, I didn't hear him take those traits and put it towards masculinity or men. He was saying those are things you need to survive in corporate America, which is true. So I've seen a lot of people try to say he was saying, well, men are just bad people. No, he was talking about what you need in corporate America to survive. And when he brought up the point that it hurts the black family, well, if you're a competitive person and you're in a relationship, is it really healthy to be competing with your spouse?
No.
Exactly.
I know you can buy your own car. I know you can buy your own house. But until you create a need that I can pour into, I have no place in your life. So stop coming home bragging to me about how much you don't need me and wonder why I shy away. Oh, y'all ain't gonna talk back to me this morning.
Is it sad that somehow that's actually something that deserves a reaction?
Yeah, it does. It's kind of sad.
Like
it
that
needs,
should just be.
It needs to be said, which is the same thing that Kevin Samuels was pretty much saying too.
People were saying long before Kevin Samuels.
I was going, long before him, they were saying it as well.
So I've seen comments across social media where women make these comments of, if a man view you as wife material, you need to reassess how you come across. And a woman said it in particular, and she said she was particularly commenting on a TV show, Love Island. And she was saying how the men on the show were telling one woman in particular she was wife material, and how that was separating that one woman from the rest of the women. And I just thought, shouldn't it?
It should.
Like, and then you realize that we're in a society now where single women and married women are told to act and carry themselves the same.
And they're not supposed to.
And it's just insane to me, because a woman can be married 10 years and until she tell you, you wouldn't know.
Not all.
I'm not saying all, obviously. But I said a woman can be married.
Well, you can give an example of Aisha Curry.
Well, is that a good example? Considering she came on.
That's what we're talking about. We're giving an example of how she came on the internet, being conservative type, not revealing, showing anything.
I'm gonna save that for my husband.
Putting her husband in a higher regard. And now she wants to be
the attention grabber,
the star. Get some attention. That's why she wanted a cooking channel, which I don't think worked out for her.
It's one of those things where, in today's society, being a man's wife, that title,
it's supposed to be an honor, but it's not.
No, not being a wife, but for instance, Aisha Curry became Steph Curry's wife. She was no longer what they would say her own person.
Well, when you become married, that's why you take on the man's last name.
But that's why you have women now that'll say, I'm a hyphenate. Or now you got dudes. I saw a black dude. What's his name? The former running back in the NFL. A black dude he's married to a white woman, and he took the Caucasian woman's last name because he said my last name was a slave name. And it was like,
but isn't her name? You still got another slave, supposed slave name on you, don't you?
Exactly. And you go, wait, but you took another European name. What the
Why
fuck?
can you just pick an African name supposedly, and you could afford to put a new name on change your name on your birth certificate and just roll with that name, right?
It's getting nasty out here, man. It's getting nasty. I'm not even gonna bother showing this. But yeah. And I want to show this right here. This is more funny than anything. This is funny as hell. We watched this a couple of days ago. Watch Quashante is how you say it?
You got about as good as guess as I do.
Quashante Short sued Richard Jordan for $10K for not wanting to go on a date with her and then yell at the judge. I watched the video. It's a 9-minute video that I saw.
She was
And
over talking to judge.
The judge is a black man, and he was crazy too. You don't go back and forth with the plaintiff or defendant.
You
tell
hit
him,
your gavel and you say,
yeah, you're in contempt,
You're in
or
contempt.
you dismiss him.
yeah.
But this dude was actually going back and forth with her, trying to explain to her the difference in the language she was using.
which means he's used to
Going
being
back and forth.
with a black woman
So the whole situation was just
or
a
woman
mess.
in general.
Yeah, it was just a mess situation, and the black dude was just sitting there like, "Am I really gonna have to go to trial for this? Like, y'all not just gonna throw this out? This is crazy."
This is a society that we live in. You could just sue anybody and take anybody to court for anything.
You're right. In America, particularly, you can you can sue somebody for anything.
Just like when we get into that Sesame Street.
Oh, you just jump. See, that's what you do. Let me hold on. All right. So this one here,
Kim Burrell.
Kim Burrell. Once again, the black church is
This ain't the first time she's gone viral.
Not at all.
She said something about, she was talking about how
homosexual.
in the church and how
Yeah.
she didn't like it, and then she's supposed to be going on Ellen that same week,
Which
but
got canceled, yeah.
which
Why
if you don't agree with that lifestyle, you shouldn't be going on those type of platforms anyway.
You think she was going on national television to rebuke?
No, she
Ellen?
won't go on. She was going on there to promote or talk about something she was involved with on that show. That's what she was doing.
Well, they're saying that this is the reason why they said this is the reason why people aren't in church anymore.
I thought it was funny what she said. I thought it was true to some of the things that she was saying.
You got to choose up. Find you some value. Sometimes before we get friends, we have to do an interview. How long have you been broke? How many times have you changed your name on your light bill? How many of your bills in your little cousin's name?
Listen. We have experience in this.
It's you know what? By you asking somebody, how long have you been in hardship financial? Because if they're your friend, they're gonna be trying to get money from you. They could be coming to you asking you for money.
Or they could be into some stuff.
Exactly.
Now,
Why you keep changing why aren't you able to keep, first of all, why isn't your bills in your name and it's somebody else's? So let me know right there, you got bad credit, you don't like to pay bills.
your character.
So every time we go out somewhere, you're gonna expect for me to pay for this.
Look, a lot of stuff she's saying, she clearly saying it in a certain way that might offend certain people.
She's saying it in a condescending
a little sassy way.
but it's hilarious the way she's saying it.
What she's also saying is character. All the things she's saying is, what is your character?
Exactly.
Do you live in a trailer home or a house? You understand. And it's not about status or material things. It's just about choices. Life is different now. And, we are at church. Thank God we're here. Those of us who are walking by faith without a mask and no vaccine. And so we honor the Lord. God is good. I respect all of the men of God here and respect you. Can y'all clap so I don't feel strange right about now? Hopefully we'll get a chance to meet each other when y'all invite me to come to your church. I'm not as expensive as I seem. And so, I don't know, maybe you got a little left over from your PPP loan.
Okay. No.
It was a lot of Negroes, people in general,
Yeah.
out here getting PP. Ain't it PPD?
That was PPP.
Oh, PPP loans and
Some people came up.
some people came up. Some people they kind of scammed the system, but they invested in it. So when they came back, they were able to
reimburse it, and able to
and still have profit from what they did, which was smart.
That was smart.
However, you have some people that just went and got a Cadillac and some rims,
I don't know nobody who ain't got no Cadillac.
or a car in general. We've seen people with cars.
Oh, no. Let me tell you, when we went back to North Carolina,
We talked about this when we got back.
yeah, the amount of cars that were way out of the price range for the area
We
was
saw
in.
that where they lived. This was, and like Miss Kim Burrell said, do you have a mobile home or do you have a house?
Yeah, and people were living in mobile homes with
Very expensive cars,
very expensive
and
cars in
rims.
the yard. And I'm like, it was.
So
I ain't
it's-
seen no. Hold on, I'm not gonna let you keep throwing in rims.
Yeah,
I didn't see no
I
rims.
saw rims in. So it was, so like she said, it's choices. However, you do have people, and this is during income tax time,
Yeah.
that don't have a pot to piss in, but will go buy a car.
Yeah.
Don't have nowhere, don't own no house, but will go buy a car.
Yeah.
So you're gonna sleep in the car. No, you're gonna keep living off of family members. Because you need to go have this car to look like you're keeping up with the Joneses.
And that's probably the biggest thing in our community, keeping up with the Joneses.
Because you can have an expensive car and be traveling and go to other people's house, but why can I go to your house? See, this is what she's talking about.
Prayer, praise, and power. You understand? Amen. Isn't the Lord great? Amen. Amen. And so, you know, I like coming here because the ground is already tilled with great personality like Dr. Karn. Because one thing I love about him, he's deep in the word, but he knows how to have great humanity. And most don't understand his personality because he is truth personified. And he tells the type of truth that makes most uncomfortable. Because who likes to be told you're just ugly? No one likes to be told that. You know, especially when they have realized it. All right. Most don't get offended until they know the bad thing about themselves. And then somebody else recognizes and says, oh, I saw the ugly too. I just wanted to let you know. So anyway, y'all get that later. God is great. All of you are beautiful. I haven't chosen anyone to be ugly yet. God is good. God is great. You all look great. Most of you have on hats covering most of that anyway. Here's to you.
Okay.
Damn.
Now she is starting to go into comedian trying to roast people.
Yeah,
type
but
stories.
she's not talking. She's not talking about ugly as far as
Look,
physical.
I
She's
thought
talking
she
about
talking-
ugly in the inside.
Yeah, that's what I thought. she was-
Personality wise.
Yeah, that's what I thought she was saying. But even on the outside, it's a gift.
Exactly.
Beauty is a gift.
And not everybody was chosen to receive it.
Like, it's okay to be just a regular person.
But they don't want to be regular persons. As you saw on Kevin Samuels' platforms, they were 3 and they thought they were 8.
Yeah.
But you know, they'll say beauty is in the eye of the beholder.
No, beauty is pretty universal.
You know, within 5 seconds of seeing,
Two.
2 seconds of, you know,
where
whether
somebody is in your rating scale of attractiveness.
so it's not. No, it's not in
nothing
the
wrong.
eye of the beholder,
Most High gave certain people more than others.
and it's okay because
Yeah.
he gave you something that they don't have.
Which is it's another thing. A lot of people want to do something that somebody else does well. It's like, that ain't for you. That ain't your gift. He gave you something else you need to.
He gave you a craft like he gave everybody else.
You
one.
have a gift. You just got to find it.
Some people don't ever find
I
it.
have a
though.
great personality. Okay, I'm going to sing. Daily.
Oh, girl, that wasn't feeling it at all.
She
So-
pushed that hat back.
So the church is
The church is well, it's not waking up.
it's not at all.
waking
It's
up.
just
It's just popular to say these things because it's being
Controversial?
Said. Oh, the signature has gone up since yesterday.
yeah, we're gonna just jump this right here then. Remember a few, what was that, 2 weeks ago? Maybe 3 weeks ago now, where the Nigerian fella
Heather Locklear.
went on social media and said something about the ancestors of Clarence Thomas had been lynched, and that was crazy. And they've been trying to get him off social media now since that time. Because they went back and found other tweets of him talking about the Okadas and all kind of Emmett Till tweets, all kind of crazy stuff. So if you can see here, this was started by Greg Marcel Dixon, who, by the way, had a very, I think I talked about this last week, who had a very strange, I guess it was a clubhouse room where he was talking about black men don't want you, because he was talking about the woman who says she can only get certain men with her hairstyle.
Mm-hmm.
And he made a room where he was saying black men just don't want you. And I was like, I saw Arnold Sienna. She was like, why is he creating this room? And I thought, like, yeah, it's kind of strange. It's strange for him as a gay man to be speaking on this topic. Like, it comes off a lot different because you're a gay dude. Like,
and he probably with a white man. So,
wait,
which is good. I mean, it's not good, but I always say, please don't infect the black community with that. That's why when they were like, Yvette was, I was like, well, at least it's not
with a
black woman.
It's a weird one.
It's a weird way of looking at it.
You don't want them to be with somebody.
You don't support the lifestyle, but you don't want them infecting the community.
But also they in an interracial relationship.
So they say, Travis, you're for interracial if it's that.
But you don't know who this dude.
I don't know, but
he said people trying to look.
Most of the time, that's what it be.
He said people trying to find his fiance on social media. I said, fiance.
So why are you afraid to show your fiance?
I was like, fiance.
So you're engaged. You're committed to this lifestyle.
But it's kind of hard to talk about the black family when
you're not
for it at all.
You're pro-abortion. Every time you
I'll give you.
Yes, he is. How can you be pro-life when you are taking what life you create and dumping it down a hole and nothing comes from it?
Whoa, we didn't even.
That's what he's doing.
Whoa. Okay, let's just.
That's why that monkeypox getting their asses.
We're gonna talk about that too.
It's no joke. And they could talk about, well, the monkeypox is fake. Nobody
has said that.
But if it's attacking a certain group of people, then that means that the Most High is allowing this plague to happen. It's attacking gay men.
I wouldn't say it's.
Yes, it is. It's attacking them. Now there is a story that came out. We
get to it.
We get to that, but.
So June 25th, a Nigerian American name, whatever his name is, tweeted a wish. So he went through and gave a reason why he think this should happen, and he got a few comments, and obviously you can see his goal was 2,500.
It's gonna get 2,500 signatures.
But this is why this is strange to me.
They tell you who the people is that signed. It says K.
That's probably not their real names,
okay.
But here's why this is strange to me. This platform, Twitter, is a Caucasian platform, right? And they constantly suspend people for saying things that they say are discriminatory, racist, sexist, all the other stuff. He said what he said. He was reported many times, and nothing happened. I saw one person reported him, and they got a message back, and Twitter support, I guess, told him, yes, this is against guidelines, what he said. And it was like, but nothing happened. Should you expect Twitter to deal with this type of stuff?
No.
So is this whole thing about having him taken off Twitter, is it even worth it?
To me, no. So some people, they say, yes, it is worth it. The things that he's saying against black Americans is not acceptable and blah, blah, blah. But it's just like, y'all don't have to engage with him or see his, what he's commenting, block him. Let people who be who they are and reveal and show you who they are.
Is disrespectful speech a part of free speech?
Unfortunately, yes.
So, is there a such thing as really as hate speech? Does hate speech actually exist, or is it somebody can just say something hateful?
Somebody can just say something hateful.
So if that's the case, then what he said is
he expressed how he felt, which is not good. I mean, I don't care for Clyburn either, but I wouldn't.
That's not Clyburn's, Clarence Thomas.
Clarence Thomas. Why did I get those two confused? Clarence Thomas, but I'm not gonna say what he said. But I said, why y'all keep shutting people up? Let people reveal who they are. How you gonna know? How you gonna separate the weed from the wheat? And if y'all silencing everybody and we can't fully, let them express themselves so we know who they are.
That's what I was going to. I don't want white, Asian, Hispanic people to be told they can't say certain things about black people. I want you to say what you want to say so I'll know exactly what you believe.
But they prefer having somebody like Biden in the White House opposed to a Trump, because they want to be rocked back to sleep and pretend like everything's okay and we're progressing. And no, we need somebody in there that's blunt, honest.
Yeah, I'd rather have somebody around me that tell me they don't like me than have somebody around me that's
and our
lying.
minds is so sick because you still have, and I'm gonna focus on black people. I don't care about other, everything they blame Trump.
Yeah,
I was on the phone with somebody. Trump. How did Trump do this? In my mind, I just be wrapping around. This was going on before he got in office, but somehow it's his fault.
The man was in office for 4 years. That's it. This 4 years, and he did so much.
But he's the cause of all the problems that's going on right now. It's just absolutely insane.
Yeah, it's crazy. Representative Thomas asked DOJ to investigate ex-Governor Bryant for FAR TANF payments. Remember how long ago was that now? 2019? Something like that? When Brett Favre was caught up in a lawsuit where they sued because they said they were taking welfare funds and giving it to celebrities for speeches that they weren't doing. So now they're asking the DOJ to investigate it and have those payments repaid. Now, Brett Favre is paid back, if I'm not mistaken. I think they said he owed $800, but I think he only paid $600. And he said the rest of it was interest that he wasn't paying. I don't know if they're trying to still get that from him. Do you think this was just money laundering? Because they said he was paid for speeches, but they didn't do them. What are they doing in Mississippi where they were just giving money to these people for a nonprofit for speeches and they didn't do them?
Probably money laundering.
You gotta remember, this is in Mississippi, so it's it might be some type of organization. Might be some laundering more than just. Let's say this: they might have been laundering more than money. This might have been a purchase for something else, but I don't know. I just thought that was an interesting story. Okay. One of the stories that I guess went viral past week was the story of Sesame Street.
Which I don't know why it went
Hold on.
viral.
Just let me. I said Sesame Street, but Sesame Place under fire after Muppet character appears to snub 2 black girls. So in the video, 2 black girls are standing in a crowd. It was a large crowd surrounding. I guess they were walking down a way, and the character is touching kids' hands, mainly white Caucasian kids, even Caucasian adults, shaking their hands. And these 2 little black girls are standing in front of him at some point, and he's looking over them, and he waved his head in a no signal, and keeps going. And people saw that and said, "Wait, why did he not?"
Was it a he or a she?
In the costume, I don't know. You're right.
I think it was a woman.
I don't know.
It was a woman.
Okay, so she kind of went past the 2 black girls, and people was like, "That's why y'all didn't shake the 2 black girls' hands?" So then Black Twitter. They went and found every instance of these characters looking over black children.
But y'all continue to keep going there.
And they sent out a statement, Sesame Place, and said that sometimes our people, because of their costume, makes it hard for them to see people who are up close and down on them. They tend not to see them, so they look over them. We apologize, all that stuff. We invite the family back, da-da-da-da-da. And the first thing I thought was, why do we care? I mean, I get it. These 2 little girls, they fans of it. They pretty sure they watch the show all the time. So from a child standpoint, I get it. They might be had it in their feelings, so I get it. But as an adult, wouldn't you just not take your kids back there?
Yes. And some of the stuff they don't need to be watching no way. It's just indoctrinating kids anyway.
Well, that's another side of it. Sesame Street, when you go back as an adult, when you go back and watch some of that stuff, you go, damn, I didn't realize that was in here. Like, let's look at the celebrities they bringing on at this point. Like, I don't think you want your kids watching Sesame Street at this point, which is funny because the purpose of Sesame Street being created is totally different than what they use it for now. But this was what the family want. Terminate that Muppet. Attorney for 2 black girls ignored by racist Sesame Street's Rosetta says this is not about money, as he demands Philly theme park pays their mental health bills. So 30 others want to sue. The attorney representing the family of the 2 young girls that were ignored by Sesame Street actor are calling for them to be fired. Attorney Baval Lamar said at a news conference on Wednesday he rejects claims that the monster costume prevented the actor from seeing them. Lamar claimed that the incident is not isolated, and 25 to 30 other families have come forward with videos of similar incidents.
What are we suing?
What are we suing for? Like, look.
Because they don't want to shake their hand?
I keep saying this every time. Look, I love my people.
Asking for that hug.
The hug.
Can't stay away from them.
You want some person in a costume hugging on your kids.
All these viruses and this
apparently
stuff going around,
exactly.
And you okay with a Muppet?
And like I said, kids, I get it. They'll get over it though. Like them 2 little girls would have got over this by the next day. It wouldn't even last a day. It seemed this is more about black people, parents, men and women, who once again want to be accepted.
Oh, you shouldn't have said mainly women.
I said men and women.
Oh, sorry.
See, look at that. You try to put words in my mouth. I see what you're doing. I said men and women. It seemed like they're trying to get...
You were mumbling.
Okay. It seemed like they're trying to get that hug through their kids.
True.
Like...
I wouldn't have gave a damn. First of all, my kids wouldn't have been out there. I wouldn't have gave a damn whether they shook their hands or not. I mean, why would I care?
Like I said, I understand the kids. It's their character. They watch it on television. They want to take a picture. They want to hug. But as a parent, you got to look at them and be like, let's move on. In this situation. But then again, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe, maybe this is something that need to be
no, it
attention
don't.
need to be brought to it.
No attention need to be brought to it.
They need to sue the hell out of them and,
Sue for what? What you sue for? Neglect, emotional distress, neglecting?
They said they wanted to pay for their mental health bills.
What mental health bills?
Well, hold on. Let's look at this at a deeper level. It says something when the little black girls versus the little white girls and the little white boys are getting affection from these characters over them. Does not hurt their esteem, self-esteem, and confidence growing older? Does that not have some level? Does it not affect? Wait, hold on. Does it not affect put some level of an imprint on them into their older years?
Well, what about home life?
What you mean?
What about the chaos that goes on in the households?
You don't know those kids' households. We're talking about those 2 kids, Trevin. Don't try to make this a general statement. We're talking about those 2 little girls. Does it not affect their psyche?
No, it's not affecting their psyche
at all. To see
this one time that a Muppet.
That might affect them.
A Muppet.
Hold on. I could tell you in the 4th grade when I finished my work as the fastest, and I was told I couldn't get on the laptop, but the white kid could. I can remember that. I'm not saying it affected me, but those things burn in your head. You definitely remember it.
Well, looked like you wanted a hug at that age too.
I didn't want a hug. I wanted to get on the damn computer, but I was told I couldn't. But a white kid was told he could. But I finished my work faster. I didn't want a hug. I wanted to get on the computer.
It toughened you up, right?
My point is, maybe it is some level of a psyche, affects their psyche somewhat. You're not even going to relinquish that at all?
No, it's the BS.
Okay. All right.
Don't take your kids there. It's pretty simple.
All right. This next thing I'm about to talk about. Travis haven't saw this. He didn't want to see it because he wanted to react to it in real time. This is going to make you... When I show you this, Lord have mercy. All right. That's how we're going to start it off with. Okay. This is the Museum Special USA Jobs, right? This is the Smithsonian Institute of the world's largest museum, education, and research complex, with 21 museums in the natural zoo, shaping the future by preserving heritage, discovering new knowledge, and sharing our resources with the world. The National Museum of African American History and Culture is a natural museum for the study and exhibition of African American history and culture. Now, they said there's a job open. The citizen nations with those who owe allegiance to the U.S. The position is open to all U.S. citizens or U.S. nationals. More than one selection may be made for this announcement. Duties. The museum specialist assistant is a member of the Office of Creole Affairs, National Museum of African American History and Culture, working on U.S. Latinx initiatives, programs, and projects.
So hold on. This goes into that bullshit that Steph Curry and his wife is doing, which are
we ain't got to this. Please, Negro.
Why does it always seem like they all get on one accord?
So this is a job for a Latinx, I guess, division initiative of the National African American History and Culture
How
Museum.
does Latinx play a role in an African American?
Well, Latinx, are they not black?
They're not black,
but they're not African Americans.
They're not African American.
Now this right here is it.
Well, I don't consider them black.
Yeah, you don't. Yeah. The National Museum of African American History and Culture is hiring a museum specialist, curator assistant of Latinx studies. The salary range is $74K to $97. Application closed on August 12, 2022.
You literally cannot make this stuff up.
Why would an African American museum be hiring a Latinx studies? What does being Latin have to do with ADOSness? There's a propaganda and social engineering afoot. I can smell it. Smells like white liberals and leftists with a tinge of the Democrats.
It's not just white liberals and white leftists.
You see people saying, what the fuck?
You have Negroes that are very much a part of this. Explain why the Black Caucus be doing what they be doing.
Time to water it down.
They are really trying to erase us.
Look, let me say this.
I don't understand what do they think that's gonna happen when they put out these things? They think people just not gonna say anything, or did they just not give a damn?
It's still surprising, and they know this. When they do this type of stuff, they know the reaction, and they don't care.
It's almost like they want you to get upset.
Why would you care? Why would I care about Latinx studies at an African American History and Culture Museum? And the reason why they're saying they're doing this is because African Americans have influenced Latino culture. So now that makes that black culture.
I thought they influenced us. So which is it? Ain't that what they've been saying? That they influenced hip hop, they influenced all these things, and they don't get their credit due.
Now this is another change.org petition. Stop the erasure of foundational Black American history at a African American History and Culture Museum. Now this is Mark Baggs. He said, I am very concerned with the recent focus on Latinx studies at the African American Museum. I am concerned with the disruption in a space that is supposed to be reserved for the study and acknowledgement of African American descendants of chattel slavery in the United States. I am writing to ask for clarification into what this position would mean in regard to the integrity of the museum and its history. As you know or may not know, African Americans have been under attack recently over protecting our African American freedmen and FBA leanings from distortion and being co-opted. Our contention is not about blackness present in America because many groups come here and claim that designation, and we fully support them. Our contention is that the museum will start to feature exhibits that will ultimately undermine and overshadow the accomplishments, achievements, and history of past and present African Americans. Let me say this. You asked the question, what is the point?
To get you upset?
Because when you do this, now, are they going to say, and I'm going to go ahead and show this right here, is the point of, like I said, the point of them doing this is are they saying that this is for black Latinos, quote unquote? You see here, the National Museum of African American History and Culture presents American history through the African American lens. Latinx history is American history, and the African American Museum is committed to collecting, documenting, interpreting, and preserving Latinx history and culture as it is an integral part of the American story. Black history is globally created and globally impactful, as shared legacy of the transatlantic slave trade connects the histories and cultures of the United States. Latin America and the Caribbean, further Latinxes and Latin Americans, black and non-black, see that, and non-black, have historically contributed to and have been shaped by African American culture, including performing arts, music, literature, sports, and political movements. Conversely, African Americans have influenced Latinx and Latin American art, history, and culture as well are articulating these connections across the African diaspora affirms Black American history as multicultural and inclusive of Latinx experiences.
We don't want to be inclusive of the Latinx experiences.
Why do they keep trying to connect? This is ever since the Panther movement, that black and brown shit been getting pushed. That Rainbow Coalition. That black and brown shit has to go. It got to go. It's been around for almost, 70 years now. And only one side is doing it.
Exactly, because the quote-unquote brown side don't do that.
I don't understand. This is crazy.
Why can't they have their own museum?
That's what I'm about to say. Are they basically saying right here that they can't give them their own museum?
Why?
Because you would have to say, well, when you say African American, then it's grounded in American. Are you really gonna make one for Latin Americans? What's their history in America? You have to do it based off of their countries they're from, and why would it be in America at that point? You can't call it a Latin American history museum, and all you're talking about is countries outside of America. Differently, you can actually make a museum about African Americans and not mention another country.
Well, ain't nothing gonna happen. They're gonna be included into the museum. So,
Well, what happens? Remember the hip hop museum? Don't they got a white lady running it?
yeah, sure do.
A white lady. They hired a white woman to run the hip hop museum in New York, I think. Is it Brooklyn or Harlem? I can't remember.
One of the two.
Well, how are you gonna hire anyway? It don't even matter.
We're not surprised. It's New York.
The Courage plan to install 150 libraries in Oakland to boost the literacy rate for Black and Latinx. You know, the person with the lowest, as far as I know, the person with the lowest literacy rate is young Black boys. So that probably should have been the center of this whole situation. They're the ones that's the furthest behind. I would imagine, and they said that when they showed the percentages, they said only 15% of Black and 12% of Latino elementary students are reading at grade level. Well, how many of those Latino students speak English?
Exactly.
So is that the reason why their literacy rate is lower, because they don't speak English?
And they said Latino there.
What? They say Latinx.
Is it inexchangeable? Latino,
Well,
Latinx?
yes. You got to remember, the liberal whites call them, or now liberal blacks as well, call them Latinx. They don't like that term. Hispanic people don't like to be called no Latinx. They think it's not real. It's stupid. Because the reason why they do that is because Latino, they say it's masculine. Latina is feminine. But Latino is a representative of everybody. So they say, let's not do that. Let's make the O or the A an X that way can stand for either gender. They try to make Latino a gender inclusive term by saying Latinx. The same reason why, Disney.
Oh yeah,
When he used to open the show, he would say boys and girls. They took that out.
Oh yeah, Disney. Disney is wicked as hell.
What's his name? The one who ran Disney, who started
Walt
Disney.
You know what he did now? They're taking out fairy godmother and giving it a gender neutral name. So what you gonna name a fairy godmother? What neutral gender name can you come up with for godmother?
You can't even say hello, boys and girls.
You gotta say hello,
children,
y'all.
So yeah, like I said, I'm not.
And they got her written all over it too.
I'm not even gonna put this on them because they have their own backgrounds, and ain't his mama like biracial or something?
I think she's a Creole.
Both of them, how we said, the Curry family, they stay light skinned.
She's from Canada, so.
No, the Curry family stay light skinned. Only one who went a little bit darker was his sister.
The dad, not that.
I'm not saying I said they stay light. They go light skinned is my point. All right. The deal is closed. Byron Allen's media group acquires Black News Channel for $11 million.
Which means they won't bring in no revenue or nothing.
$11
million is not really a lot. That's why that woman had to go on Twitter.
And then they said they ain't getting their last checks.
To, kind of embarrass them and say, give us our paycheck.
Now keep in mind, another billionaire owned this network.
Yeah, he just flat out said, I ain't paying it.
So clearly he didn't feel this is something he wanted to put money into.
He wasn't getting no return in it.
Byron Allen's Allen Media Group is proud to announce that the Northern District of Florida, Tallahassee Division of the United States Bankruptcy Court issued an order approving the sale of substantially all of Black News Channel. So he don't own all of it. It's still a percentage still owned by Shan. Is that his name?
I believe so.
So he don't want to run it, but he still want to have some level of purchase. He still want to have some level of stock in it.
But that's what they do, just in case it get bigger.
So he could say, well, I still have some say here.
Exactly.
Or maybe it's because they negotiate the price down. That's
Black News Channel was never going to do well because they do the same thing that we just saw with the other stories. They call it a Black News Channel, but they talk about everybody under the sun.
Yeah,
underneath it.
Assets free and clear of all leanings, claims, encumbrances, and interest to AMG's network division. AMG is acquiring a BNC out of bankruptcy for $11 million from billionaire Shahid Khan, owner of the NFL Jacksonville Jaguars franchise. Khan invested over $100 million into Black News Channel. AMG's acquisition of BNC will add 300 million linear and digital subscribers to the AMG portfolio of assets, which includes 12 division networks such as the Weather Channel, digital platforms Local Now, HBCU Go. HBCU Go is starting to become a bigger thing as well. Sports TV, the Griot, a streaming app, and the Weather Channel streaming app. AMG also has invested over $1 billion in the last 3 years to acquire 27 ABC, NBC, CBS, Fox Network affiliate broadcast television stations nationwide. So the first question you ask is, okay, so is he going to make Black News Channel a digital platform or television?
Well, he has his own channel, so he can bring it on TV.
So who he hiring?
Well, that's up. We got to wait and see.
Now, remember, it was ADOS who stood behind him when he had his lawsuit against, was it Comcast?
Yeah.
So is he
but
going?
He was pretty defined on what.
Yeah, he was very defined on what he was doing. He said, "Look, I'm telling you right now, I'm doing this. It can affect the rest of the Black community. So y'all better pay attention to this." He ended up selling for what, $20 billion?
I'm not sure,
or something like that. Yeah, I'm pretty interested in this. Who is he gonna hire? Who is the staff gonna be? Is it gonna be the same?
That run the route?
Is it gonna be the same type of No, is it gonna be the same type of platform they use with the other one? Separate shows, multiple people, or is it gonna be more what we used to with morning, afternoon, night, 3 different hosts with a few mini shows in between?
Well, the network. A channel like, let's say CNN, they have more than one show on a day. They have multiple correspondents and hosts and
I'm saying, like,
commentators
host.
come on.
Yeah, no, I'm saying host. I think Black News Channel had they ran it by a TV show. Like, everybody had a segment.
Well, that's how it is on CNN. They have different.
No, they
segments.
have prime time for each morning, afternoon, and the later afternoon. Yeah. But in between, they have little shows in between too. I'm sorry, they're gonna go with that or what Black News Channel was already doing.
I mean, he can't do that. He got. I'm not for sure how many channels he got. So we'll see what he does.
All right. We'll see what Black News Channel got going and who they decide to hire. But I want to go into another topic with Stephen Curry. Stephen Curry, Megan Rapinoe, I think that's how you said it, and the more athletes show support for Brittany Griner at the 2022 ESPYs. That's not even the main point I want to talk about. At the ESPYs, I'll just show. Where is it? Okay.
Honestly, what we've witnessed tonight is just the importance of sports and how much we can bring and how much we can honestly get done in the world just with our collective power. I think for me, the most striking thing is that BG's not here. We've, had people up on stage. We've said that before. NECA, Skylar, and Steph up there talking about it. BG deserves to be free. She's being held as a political prisoner, obviously. And I know, listen, I don't think I'm getting political, but I do love to get political. We're probably not going to get her out tonight, and everyone should enjoy the night, and we should all celebrate, you know, the incredible accomplishments that this collective sports environment and community has had for this entire year. But tomorrow and the next week and the next day, like Sky was saying, every time we see BG's face, like Neka was saying, every time.
All right, you get the point. It's funny because this same woman here is dating a woman who's in the WNBA, if I'm not mistaken, named Sue Bird. She's a lesbian, obviously. And this woman here she plays soccer for the women's national team. And for years, she's been declaring that the women's national team deserve more money, even though they don't receive the same viewership as the men. And sometimes they just negotiate it poorly. But anyway, when they were asked the question about why the WNBA isn't thriving as the way it just should, she gave a reason why she believed that it's true. She said, in America, when they see soccer, they say little white, pretty little white girls. But when they look at the WNBA, they see big black lesbians. Now, this was her that said this. And she was saying this as a defense to say America doesn't support black women lesbians. But I thought the way she described them, she called them big black lesbians.
Which was not flattering at all.
And I thought the fact that she said that, this is a typical speak you get from liberals. They think when they say stuff like that they're defending you. What she said in that moment was probably the more disrespectful than I've heard majority of people say about the WNBA. I've heard people say it's like a lesbian league and stuff, but a lot of people
always try to make themselves just seem like they so small and less mature, but black people are just these big giants.
Yeah. And if you didn't know, I didn't know this until a few years ago, that the WNBA is majority black. But if you look at ESPN and all these other sports networks, they'll sell the Caucasian women way more. They'll sell you Sue Bird and Ella Della Don and the other big nose chick, I forgot her name.
Because that's their beauty of standard.
And they sell them to try and get away from what she called the big black lesbian image.
They won't let their women fall below the beauty of standard, even though they're not the most. They're not the majority in the sport. They still gonna make them the face of the sport.
Yeah, even now there's a new chick out in Seattle they're selling as, and I don't know who the best player is. I'm just saying, like, I did not know the WNBA was majority black. They constantly sold the Caucasian girls, so they were trying to get the WNBA get support through the white audience, even though their biggest demographic is black men. Black men still support them for the majority of their base, at least. Now, okay, I can just go ahead and go back here. Roy Jones Jr., dual citizen of Russia and U.S., takes big steps to free Brittany Griner, willing to do a prisoner exchange.
Now, why are these celebrities so involved with these presidents in these other countries? Like Dennis Rodman, when he stepped in for Trump for North Korea.
Yeah,
and he's like, how y'all got
how y'all
got connections with presidents and stuff?
These celebrities, even I keep bringing up the dude who interviewed El Chapo, the actor. Then you got, like, these celebrities are always playing, which tells you that a lot of these people we call celebrities and actors and athletes, they're spies.
Double agents, works with the government. Like Herschel Walker.
Exactly. We'll get to him later.
Yeah.
But they all kind of admit they have some type of ties to CIA or FBI. We know for a fact that Hollywood is ran by the military.
Like the Tammuz Network.
Yeah. Hollywood is ran by the military. They literally tell them what they can and can't release based off of what propaganda they want to push. There's plenty of movies that come out around the same time as a war about to break out. Remember when Rocky, during the what do you call it, when they were going back and forth in that Cold War with the Soviet Union, Rocky was released, Rocky 3, when he went against Russia. Or what about right when we were about to go to Iraq, what movie came out? 300. Those movies was about Caucasians conquering. That's what this movie was about. As a matter of fact, they made sure that the black men died to the Russian so that the Caucasian, even though if I'm not mistaken, isn't he German or something?
He's Caucasian though, it don't matter.
I know, but they had him be the savior to redeem. Was that go into a whole nother?
No, Schwarzenegger is German. I
Yeah.
think
Stallone
is Italian, Italy.
Yeah, I don't
He's
know.
some type of
Yeah, I think he's Italian.
One of
American.
those.
I don't know. And you brought up to TMZ. TMZ get information so fast. We talked about Kevin Samuels earlier. It was TMZ the one that got the information of how he died. TMZ, hold him aside.
That's what I call him, the Messiah.
They get information so quickly. They literally got cameras on every celebrity because they're assets, as we know. They get interviews. They have how many people on their staff? I know they hire a lot of like contract guys or who just, do quick interviews on the spot and sell it to them. They don't got a lot of employees per se. But damn, they got connection to hospitals, everything. If something happened to you and you end up in a hospital, in jail, anything, TMZ knows. I remember when DMX had a TV show, and there was a scene where he was going to jail. He was in court, and it had to be like 2 a.m. Not 2 a.m. It had to be like, it was a late time. It was either really early in the morning or later in the afternoon.
It was at a time where
Normally
nobody
people not
should have
in
been
there.
in the courtroom but him, the bailiff, the
Yeah.
judge, and the officer.
But there was a whole row of media, and he looked over and said, "I wonder how y'all knew I was going to be here. how y'all knew I was going to be here at this
Because
time."
the judge probably called him up, the bailiff, some
Or
sheriff,
cops.
somebody.
The cops would just say, "Hey, we
Yeah.
got DMX. Get
Yeah.
a couple dollars." So yeah. So another thing that's come from this is Roy Jones, a black man, is trying to get her out, and it's not really getting any attention for it. People looking towards Biden, who clearly ain't gonna do shit. So let's say Roy Jones,
Or,
who-
when she's done being programmed.
that too. Let's say Roy Jones is the one who gets her out of Russia. Let's say the narrative is he gets her out. What do you think they're gonna say about Roy Jones?
Well, I would hope it would be something positive.
Are they gonna say a black man helped the black woman, or is it gonna be nothing? Or are they
Probably
gonna get-
boxer Roy Jones helps Brittany Griner be released or something like that.
Or now, keep in mind, he's trying to negotiate her out, and he's saying that they're willing to do a prisoner exchange. So that clearly means Rory might be the one who's doing the negotiating, at least, or somebody he knows. If she gets out, are they gonna give credit to Biden for doing the prisoner exchange, even though he didn't do the negotiation?
I don't think they are.
You think they're gonna give it to him?
I think they would give it to him.
you got way more faith than me. As Buffalo Supermart reopens, memories of massacre haunt workers. Are they expected to go back to work at that store?
Yeah.
Do you think that store should be reopened and let's just move on?
I mean, the store's gonna be reopened because it's in a community where
Grocery.
there's groceries. The people need groceries.
Yeah.
So I didn't expect for it to be closed forever.
Well, it's been 2 months since the shooting.
How long should it be closed for?
I'm not saying it should be closed. I'm asking you questions.
It's closed longer than what I thought it would be closed. Actually, I didn't even know it was closed. I thought it would be closed for a week or two.
And this dude right here says, like, we're just moving on. She said, we need to talk about survivors. And then he go deliver white woman. I survived because I'm white. And then I just can't bring myself to go back. It is. They did kind of just move away from this story. Obviously.
Some people would say, view it as being insensitive for the lives that were lost there. And some people would say, well, are we going to close? Are we going to shut and close things every time somebody,
There's a shooting?
there's a shooting? Because there's literally a shooting
every day.
Every hour.
Yeah.
It seems. Like here in the state of Washington, there was a shooting in Renton today. So it's just like, damn, everything going to be closed at this point.
Well, I'm saying because the workers feel like things are kind of moving. They kind of just told, her name is Yanina McReynolds. Huh. But anyway, the workers feel like they just kind of told to just get back to work now. You had enough time to mourn. You should be over. I mean, I would imagine they're suffering from PTSD.
Oh, yeah, I would imagine too.
So anybody that come in that building
Anybody white that come in that building,
with any sort of strange acting,
they're gonna be on alert.
So yeah,
Which you should be.
oh exactly. You should already be on alert. This really shouldn't. Yeah, but I'm gonna leave that alone. All right. A Georgia woman died after she quote unquote fell out of a police patrol car. Cruisers are always supposed to be locked, an expert said. A Georgia woman having what her family described as a mental health crisis died Thursday after the authorities said she fell out of a patrol car last week, even though, according to police expert, cruisers are always supposed to be locked from the inside. Breonna Greer, 28, was pronounced dead at 1 p.m. at Grady Memorial Hospital in Atlanta. Greer has been in a coma since the encounter last week in Hancock County, roughly 100 miles southeast of Atlanta. Her sister, Lottie Greer, said in the interview her ventilators was removed after a doctor told relatives she was brain dead. What are we going to do about people that constantly die in custody of police? Like, at some point, you are literally supposed to be responsible for a person when they're arrested. You're responsible for them. Her falling out of a car.
I don't know how she fell out of a car.
And it's supposed to be locked. It's locked. Basically got like a child lock on the inside. So you can't open it from the inside. You can only
How'd she fall out of the car, though?
Exactly.
Did they hit a curve and...
Did she try to get out her own and open the door? I don't think that's possible.
Was the door not... How'd she fall out of a car?
Exactly. That sounds like bullshit. That's just bull.
Like, even when you close the door and the door not already closed,
Yeah.
shut, even if you brush up against it, it's gonna go like...
Yeah.
So I'm just trying to understand how she fell out of the car.
In a statement, the Bureau said that early investigation to the death shows that deputies arrested Greer and were taking her to Hancock County Sheriff's Office when she fell out of a patrol car and sustained significant injuries.
They don't have body cam?
Now, is it possible that they did something to her
and they blamed
put her in the car and just blamed it on her falling out of the car?
Did they not have a camera recording in the vehicle?
There should be.
Are we going to see the surveillance tape? Or
I haven't heard anything about that. The agency did not provide additional details about the circumstances of Greer's death and said the investigation to the incident, which is requested by Hancock County Sheriff Terrell Primus on July 15, is ongoing. Deputies involved in the incident have not been identified. So another mystery story. We just don't know how she died. Sandra Bland all over again. A woman just died in a cell, and you just go, we don't know how she died. Okay. All right. Speaking of Georgia, Herschel Walker kind of commits to October 16th debate.
How do you kind of commit?
Because he said he'll commit if things is right and things are in order.
You should want to debate.
You should want to debate Warnock.
But you don't want to debate Warnock because you've had all this stuff released on you.
Assault claims from ex-wives and all ex-women you dated and all this other stuff. They're doing the same thing with him that they did with Larry Elder in California. I said when Larry Elder announced he was running and they kept promoting this bullshit that, he's in the lead in the polls, he might win. I said, they lying. They know he has no support base at all and that Gavin Newsom is going to beat him pretty handily. I said that. They pushing him at the same thing they did with Trump when Hillary was running. They were trying to push Trump because they thought that would be an easy layup for Hillary.
But it backfired.
They did the same thing with Larry Elder. They knew that would be an easy layup for Gavin Newsom. The same way they're doing with Herschel Walker right now. They know that's an easy layup for Warnock.
Yep.
They know this is easy. That's why they promote him so heavily.
Yep.
And this is game they've been running for a long time. Like, this is easy to read. How people falling for this?
Just the playbook.
This is crazy. Another Georgia situation going on right now. Very bad news for Stacey Abrams. Another one. She lost that race in Georgia, according to them, very close. And she would not concede. She was just like, no, I won. No.
Like Hillary.
And then when she finally admitted she lost, she was like, I'll be back. And now she's running again. And this one right here, now keep in mind, I think this is an opinion piece because the way they talk on this article is very loosey-goosey. We're now about 3.5 months out from the upcoming November election, where voters will not only cast ballots in the midterms, but gubernatorial races across the country, including in Georgia. The race is a rematch from 2018 when Governor Brian Kemp facing Stacey Abrams. While this race was until recently considered a toss-up, Cook Political Report has now shifted the race to the lean Republican territory. Crystal Ball said Inside Elections had already changed their ratings to lean Republican and tilt Republican respectively. Particularly telling for Kemp is that majority of his donations have come from Georgia, while significant amounts of Abrams' donations have come from California.
Then that should let you know right there that the people not
The people in Georgia don't care about her. That Axios report, where the chart is included, noted that if the trend holds, Abrams would be the only government gubernatorial nominee from either party since at least the 1990s to receive a majority of his campaign funds from out of state, according to Axios analysis and campaign finance records. It also points at how this could be a liability for Abrams. If the people funding you are not even in your state, then yeah. Only 1% of her donors are from Georgia. She got $10 million from California, $2.5 million from Delaware, 6.4
Joe
from
Biden's home state.
yeah, 6.4% from DC, and 3.6% from New York. 3.6 million from New York.
She not winning an election. All your donations gonna come from out of state. That don't make no sense.
Exactly.
That means that the people not backing you.
Or are they gonna try to blame it on black people not donating?
That black people ain't donating, first of all. So good luck with that.
Good luck.
I mean, you got all those celebrities, black celebrities that are in Atlanta. So why aren't they
Exactly.
donating to her? That's where there's a lot of black celebrities in
A
Atlanta.
lot. All
We
of
not
them
just gonna say Atlanta. We gonna say Georgia.
Yeah,
Period.
A lot of black people was influential in Georgia.
Matter of fact, didn't you go on 85 South?
Yeah, she went on
This show?
verses. She did verses with Gucci Mane and Young Jeezy. And Gucci Mane said, "You gonna get my charges? You gonna get my record clean?" And
And she kind of got off the line.
we'll work on that.
Yo, she's like, Gucci, we're not Gucci.
Now look at this one. Where was the training? Outrage over police beating of young black man in Tennessee. The attorney of Brandon Calloway is questioning why Oakland police acted violently against a 25-year-old over a traffic stop. Brandon Calloway graduated from the University of Tennessee at Chattanooga last year with an electrical engineering degree. He made his mother and father, Denisha and Edward Calloway, proud. He has always been very ambitious, very creative, and has worked hard. He just wants to take on the world, his father told Huffington Post. On July 16, while driving to his father's home, police in Oakland, Tennessee beat Calloway after stopping him for a minor traffic violation in pursuit. Calloway was severely injured, requiring stitches in 2 areas. His attorney, Andre Walton, told the Huffington Post. He is still being treated for his injuries, his attorney said. Oakland Police Chief Chris Earl told Huffington Post on Thursday that one of the officers involved in the incident had been relieved of duty and that the case has been turned over to District Attorney General Mark Davison. On Friday, Assistant Chief Larry Gaines told Huffington Post that although the officer is not on active duty, he is still employed by the city. He's still employed by the city of Oakland, just have been relieved of duty with pay. Neither Earl or Gaines would give the officer's name, but Walton said at least 2 other officers were involved in the beating and that one of them may have been from another department. Body camera footage and dash camera video of the incident have not been released, but people from Callaway say they want answers about how the routine traffic stop escalated into violence. Now, I'm going to show a little bit of the video. And then we'll give our opinion on it. Yeah.
Second video begins as this video shows officers charge into the family home of Calloway. Their report says they had to kick in a door to get to him. You see them chase Calloway into an upstairs room where Calloway's attorney said he hid behind a couch and officers began tasing him.
Stop! Stop!
The affidavit from police said the taser had, quote, no effect on Calloway, so they used a baton instead, and the fight moves downstairs.
He has no weapon! Why are you chasing him? He's beating him and tasing him. He has no weapon, sir. There's no weapon. They're being aggressive.
Okay. So I guess he's a dash door driver. He was delivering food. He ran a stoplight and he was going, he was going 32 and a 20. They tried to stop him. He didn't stop. He went home, ran into the house, and hid behind the couch. They went in the house, started tasing him. He continued to run. They ended up beating on him with their them billy sticks. That's what they call them.
How long did they
Batons.
pursue him for?
Huh? Just it wasn't a long pursuit. Like when they tried to stop him, I guess he was already close to home somewhat. Now, once again, I love my people. Bro, you gotta stop. Stop. You're going 32 and 20, that's not a big deal. Just stop. Get the ticket. Right? Now, you came up with another idea, what possibly... Now, before we get to your idea, we're going to stick to the criticizing a little bit. Just stop.
Just stop. And let's say he feared.
No, before we get to that point, I know that point you're going to make. We're going to stick to this side first.
There's nothing else to it. Just stop. That's pretty much it. Just stop.
All right, now go to the other point, then I'll get you right. Go ahead.
Okay. Let's say we have all these, we've had traffic stops where people have been killed, shot, etc., blah, blah, blah.
Mm-hmm.
So let's say he was afraid, he feared for his life. Wouldn't it have been better for you to get on the phone with your dad and your sister and have them be out there in the yard? So when you got there, you stopped in front of the house and not go into the house. Just be like, I just wanted to stop in front of my house. I felt more comfortable here.
No, yeah. But here's the thing. They already relieved one officer of duty. So clearly that was a procedure that was done incorrectly.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. They beat him. They were.
There was one part, I didn't show the video on purpose, but they had a foot on his head, just hold him there. I'm like,
that's aggressive.
What are you doing?
They were being aggressive. But see, what they thought, that in their mind, they thought, oh, he has drugs or something on him or a gun. That's why he's fleeing the scene and blah, blah, blah. We got to make this catch. But come to find out, he didn't have any of that
as far as I
stuff
know,
on.
he had nothing on him. He just ran.
But when he did that probably made them think
he got something.
So it would have just been better to just stop. But hey, maybe he wouldn't have lived.
Yeah.
Maybe he wouldn't have survived.
Look, like they say, back in the up until the last 20 years, they used to beat you.
So maybe he rather take the beating than die.
Cops would pull you over and Rodney King you. That was a known thing. And people didn't believe black people, particularly black men, when they said these cops are just beating us and dropping us off in other neighborhoods on purpose. And then Rodney King thing happened and things kind of grew from there. And now they shooting. They're not beating you no more. They don't want to deal with those lawsuits.
Well, that just goes with today's culture. People don't even fight no more.
The cops don't even beat you no more. They just shoot you.
Hell, niggas out here in the street don't fight you no more. They just shoot you. So the world has evolved from hands to
steel. They lift steel too. But look at this. Joe Biden has $37 billion crime fighting plan that would fund more local cops. So a $35 billion crime plan or crime bill. Oh, Joe Biden coming with another one, I guess.
Joe back?
He back, baby. $37 billion. Now, where is this money? You got inflation. You got apparent shortages, they say. Energy shortages coming. Homelessness. Where is this money coming from?
Crime rate is going up.
Well, that's
why they, saying they need to. But instead of you taking that money and investing it into more police, why can't you take that money and invest it into housing for homeless people? Stimulus checks for people out here who's,
stimulus checks don't work, do they?
They don't work. But just give them stimulus checks because they want another round of stimulus checks.
You try to get another check, nigga. During a speech in Pennsylvania on Thursday, President Biden was scheduled to outline $37 billion crime fighting plan that would hire more local police officers in the wake of an uptick in violence in a recent mass shooting. The rollout may be delayed after it was revealed that 79-year-old Biden tested positive for COVID-19 and will have to isolate and be monitored. Now, they just gave Ukraine another $200 million.
What did somebody say? It's becoming a weekly paycheck?
It's a 2-week paycheck at this point. And
that's a big ass paycheck, though.
$200 million.
Jesus.
At this point, the money they're giving Ukraine, the money they're spending on all this other stuff. If I was a person who didn't pay attention to what was going on around me, I would say they're trying to bankrupt the country.
I would say that too.
It's like
They don't want, but you know the sad part, they don't want to bankrupt it off of giving it to you.
Mm-mm. They rather burn it all before they give it to you.
They rather bankrupt it and give it to other countries.
Included in the $87 billion that Biden will ask Congress for as part of his fiscal year 2023 budget proposal.
Hold on, but if they give it to you, you're gonna put it back into the economy.
Exactly.
Which is not going to
bankrupt the
country. So they have to give it to other countries. They can't invest it in you.
Yeah, the 23 budget proposal is $13 billion over the next 5 years to help communities hire and train 100,000 police officers, as well as $3 billion designated to clear out backlogs to resolve murder cases and develop task forces to combat gun violence. The proposal also includes a $15 billion grant program dubbed Accelerating Justice System Reform that states can tap into to create strategies for preventing violent crimes and help lessen the burden on police departments in nonviolent situations and develop a public health response.
So we could invest $37 billion in police officers, $200 million in Ukraine.
Hell, we don't get Ukraine about 60 billion.
Yeah.
Total, maybe something like that.
And then he also is investing into Africa and Asia.
Oh yeah, was that 200 billion? Something like that. I can't remember now.
So once again,
30 billion.
One would have to come to the conclusion.
200. I forgot.
It seems like these people are trying to bankrupt the country, like you said.
Or did they see once again the empire is falling and they're trying to build infrastructure too late? Remember, we just found out that America has their first four-star general, and where he's sending them? Africa. He's sending his ass to Africa, which is something they should have did in the early 1900s. What China is doing now, America could have been doing literally 100 years ago if they would have sent their military to Africa with particularly black soldiers. So they could have set up their own bases in Africa and used black soldiers to be the soldiers there. They didn't do it because according to the Pan-Africanists, they didn't want black people, Americans, to get a connection with Africans. So that's why they didn't do it. I think it is true. Remember, who was it? Was it Farrakhan who had a deal with some government in Africa where they offered him a farming deal, and America told him if you take that, basically let him know not to take that deal. Was it Gaddafi?
I think it was Gaddafi.
It was one of those guys over there that was trying to form a deal with Farrakhan for agriculture deal.
I think it was Gaddafi.
Either for farming or something. And America pretty much said, you ain't taking this deal. So, yeah. And another thing that came out of this that I realized when they announced this plan was the person they chose to sell it. It wasn't Kamala Harris. They went and decided to go get Keisha Lance Bottoms. Let's look at this.
Today, the White House is expected to unveil President Biden's plan to reduce crime and gun violence. The, quote, Safer America plan will include a 2023 budget request of $37 billion to support law enforcement and crime prevention. The White House says the plan will help communities hire and train 100,000 additional police officers for accountable community policing, invest nearly $3 billion to help communities clear court backlogs, and take criminals off the streets. It will also impose tougher penalties for fentanyl trafficking. Joining us now, senior advisor to President Biden, Keisha Lance Bottoms. She's the former mayor of Atlanta, Georgia, and knows a thing or two about trying to manage a city that is going through a crisis with policing and members of the community and how to navigate all. So if you could tell us more about the president's, the White House's intentions with this money, especially as it pertains to policing.
I'm so excited that the president has listened to mayors across this country, governors across this country, in rolling out this plan, because we know one of the biggest challenges facing cities right now is this everyday crime problem. And so when we have resources in cities that allow us to hire police officers, properly train police officers, and hold police officers accountable, it's a game changer. But the reality is this: police officers respond to crime. What we have been asking for in cities across America is more funding to help us put in place those crime intervention programs so that we can touch people before they enter into this life of crime. You know, I served as a magistrate judge for many years, and what I saw is that many people coming into the criminal justice system just did not have the tools and access to job training, education, mental health services, substance abuse services. This funding allows cities to put things in place that we know make a difference. And we can also have well-trained officers on our street who want to do right by all of our communities.
Yeah, it sounds like you're doing just the opposite of defunding the police, which, of course, Democrats like Jim Clyburn, Nancy Pelosi, others on the Hill have said for several years that it's a nonsense concept that Republicans are pushing on Democrats. You prove that here.
They literally were saying defund the police at the height of the 2020 George Floyd marches and riots.
Sure was.
That's how they were literally saying that. That's not just
now they trying to change the narrative.
Now they're saying that never happened. That's just Republican speak.
I guess Americans have dementia.
Well, most people do forget shit immediately. So
well, I don't forget.
Yeah, but most people probably do forget what happened. They just, act like it never happened.
Okay.
Now, when you hear this right here, there's another police officer. Listen what he had to say about his career as a police officer.
Okay. Don't ever ruin that. All right? Because these other...
Oh, and by the way, once again, they use Keisha Lance's bottoms, not his vice president.
She was busy.
Oh, she was busy, all right. I do think, as I said, that that's going to be somebody who runs for president more than likely.
Vice president, not president.
Think vice? Well, who you think going to run for president?
I don't know. I'm still trying to figure it out because the names they threw out ain't going to cut it. Gavin Newsom ain't winning. AOC ain't winning. I don't think Klobuchar going to win. I don't think Pete Buttigieg going to win. I just don't see anybody.
And I have not heard not one black male Democratic candidate that can possibly run for president.
Because they know they ain't going to win.
I mean, I doubt Cory Booker runs again. I mean...
Who you gonna get this time?
He could go get Queen Latifah.
Damn.
They'll let you fry. Okay? I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck if you kill a motherfucker in cold blood.
Do his ass, right?
Do you hear what I'm saying?
Yep.
I will articulate to fix the fucking problem. And I'm the only man in the business here that's smart enough to do it up front. Okay? Yeah. Me and Charles been to war together. I've killed 13 men in my career. Okay? Justified. Huh?
Ooh.
In my career, I have shot and killed in the line of duty 13 different people.
You done shot so many motherfuckers, man?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Justified, bro.
Okay.
Ask around. Hey, they ain't gonna tell you no.
What other motherfuckers say about you don't matter to me. I'm talking about me and you, baby.
I'm telling you, 13 people on my numbers, okay?
Yeah.
Justified. I'm talking about man had a gun, man had died. Okay?
You and him. You and him.
Yeah.
Right.
Got a big ass corn shootout, man, a cornfield over there. Jimmy Dale Thomas, go up there and ask him. He worked it. Justified, bro. I shot that nigga 119 times. Okay?
You talking to a black man. Why would you say I shot that?
The dude that we was talking to was recording him on purpose. That's why he was.
But why he feel so comfortable to say that? Because it seemed like he was.
Oh yeah, he definitely a wigger.
Yeah, so why he felt so comfortable? Kind of weird.
Because the black dude was leaning into it, making him feel comfortable. He probably talks like this regularly. So this black dude that he talking to leaned into it, knowing this dude, I'm gonna lean into what he's saying. Like I'm not offended by what he's saying. I'm gonna get him to be honest with himself. Said he shot a nigga 119 times.
That was justifiable. Shooting somebody 119 times is justifiable.
Yeah, he said I got 13 people I killed, all justifiable.
But shooting somebody 119 times is justifiable.
No.
You didn't get him the first 10 bullets?
First 5 bullets. I mean, damn, what was you shooting at? But yeah. These cops, bruh. But give them some more funding, I guess. Hold on. Another very strange case right here. I'm going to show the video. All right.
Today's going to be a great day. Today is a great day for individualized physical therapy.
It's an ad on websites now to watch the clips from the news.
But first, we turn to breaking news. We have an update to a story News 10 NBC broke last week. The EMT who was handcuffed by an RPD investigator inside the emergency room at Strong Hospital released a statement.
This comes after the announcement today that the police investigator has been suspended with pay. The EMT in the video that we were the first to show you is Lakia Smith. Last Monday, the investigator's car was parked in the ambulance bay when Smith hit it while opening her door to unload a patient. The investigator insisted on getting her identification while Smith insisted on getting her patient inside. The investigator then handcuffed her, slamming her against a desk in the process. We're told she was released when an RPD supervisor got to the scene.
Now, local advocacy group Save Rochester released a staff saying, once I am feeling better, I just want my life to go back to normal and continue on in my career as an EMT. I pray that this never happens to anyone again. And I also pray that the justice that is needed in this situation is swiftly served.
The police officer got mad at her because he accidentally slammed her door against his car while she was unloading a patient out of a damn ambulance.
It's a police car, right?
Yeah, I would imagine. Yeah.
So he's not going to pay for it to be fixed?
Maybe it's his car.
Oh, okay. So he was off duty.
No, he wasn't. I don't think so. It's a white police investigator suspended after handcuffing a black EMT worker for hitting his car. A white Rochester, Newark police together handcuffed him.
Police drivers drive around in their personal vehicles?
The altercation between the car police officer's car while unloading a patient from an ambulance. The police officer confronted Smith and demanded she present her identification. But she said, look, I'm busy. Oh, Lord. We can go ahead and just jump this one now. NC Town's entire police force quits in protest over progressive town manager.
Progressive?
What does that mean?
Sounds like liberal.
I guess they're saying that she's a liberal, so that's why they quit.
And they're a conservative town, so they want to get this woman out of here?
And it's a black woman.
Of course, I knew it was a black woman when I heard the story.
An entire North Carolina police force has quit in protest as the town's newly hired progressively responsible town manager, but it said progressively responsible here as in she had different, more taunting jobs as she went on. But in the headline, they call her progressive. That's different. That's not the same thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, who the police chief said called a hostile work environment. Kinley Police Chief Josh Gibson made a shocking announcement in a Facebook post on Thursday saying the assistant town manager and key clerk had joined him and his 5 officers in quitting in protest. I have put in my 2 weeks notice along with the whole police department. He wrote in the force as he served for 21, only 5 damn people? It's only 5 people. It's like what? It's like 7 people quit. She can rehire y'all.
Exactly.
The new manager has created an environment I do not feel we can perform our duties and service to the community, he wrote at Justine Jones, who took the position early last month. He made it official with a formal letter of resignation to Jones herself, according to the copy obtained by WRAL, noting that he was the longest running chief in the area. He said he felt the force has recently made substantial progress in dealing with unspecified up and downs. He also said that he willing to come back if they fire her.
So that clearly means they don't like her.
Now, the reason why they brought her up because she also, when she worked in South Carolina at another job, she quit and I'm sorry, she was fired and she sued for discrimination. And she said it was a hostile work environment. So I think they were mocking her when they said that this was she created a hostile work environment. Is it really about her being black? You think?
Well, you can't really go off of nothing because they're not really giving you no details.
They purposely
it's very vague.
It's the police. The police are not giving. They never gave a reason why they quitting. Actually,
like you have to give. I need to hear reasons. Like what jobs was she doing? Was it attitude? What was it? I can't come to no conclusion. The only conclusion I can come to is if they're They found out that she had did this in another town, and they just retaliate towards her because she did that to them. So
maybe so. Let me show y'all this right quick.
Abortion's worse than slavery.
Well,
I don't care if this hurts your feelings. I don't care. Abortion is the number one worst human rights issue that has ever happened on American soil.
Now, keep in mind what she said there about American soil. Now, she's against abortion, which I can agree with her on that. But she said on American soil. So people obviously was like, people had comments about her. And look how she phrased it when she tried to go into clarification.
She's trying to clean it up.
It's going to be shocking for many of you to hear, but did you know that Black people are not the only race to have historically experienced slavery? I know this is shocking, but pretty much every civilization in the history of mankind, at some point, their ancestry owned slaves. Because slavery was a worldwide human rights issue for a very, very long time, for many centuries. So it doesn't matter if you're white, Black, Asian, Hispanic, whatever. Very likely at some point, your ancestry down the line owned slaves. Doesn't make it right, but that was just the way of the world for a very, very long time. So all these comments like, you're not Black, you can't speak about slavery. It doesn't matter what color your skin is. Slavery was a human rights issue across the world, across all races and all civilizations for a long time. And the United States was one of the first countries to abolish it very quickly and efficiently. So all the comments about being a non-Black person, you can't speak about slavery, every single civilization has experienced slavery at some point.
But she was speaking about on American soil. But when she tried to clarify, she went towards the world. Somebody always say they never bring up the Holocaust.
They won't.
They never say this is worse than the Holocaust.
Why didn't she compare that to the Holocaust? Because she knows she better not compare it to the Holocaust. And secondly, she was talking about American soil. The Holocaust did not happen on American soil, so she didn't want to make that comparison.
But abortion is not just an American thing, is it?
It's not.
These people, boy. Oh, man. The Asians, the last 2 years or so, they be trying to show their ass. I'm not even gonna show this next one. Should I even show this one?
Yeah, you can show it.
Yeah, it's whatever. Some Asian dude trying to, the Chinamen don't matter in this country. The Chinamen. I thought that was supposed to be disrespectful.
The Chinaman.
I thought you're not supposed to call them Chinamen.
Oh.
All right, let me show this right here. Now, if y'all remember, maybe 2 years ago, maybe, or whenever it happened, Nicki Minaj came out in a tweet and she said that her cousin testicles swole up because of the jab.
That was last year.
Okay. And it created some all kind of backlash for her and all that stuff. And then there was this guy who went outside the CDC with a group of people and called himself protesting against them for the mandates. And that same guy went on to create a group that he called Black Hammer. This story is crazy. He created the group Black Hammer, and he became the leader of it and started pushing communist, socialist, or revolutionary ideology. And he created an audience for himself. Let's see what's happened since then. Now that he got some people mad a little while ago when he said he don't care about Anne Frank. For some reason that made him mad.
And then you wanted to call me, what's the word? Anti-Semitic. Well, let me tell you something. My name ain't Nick Cannon. I ain't backing up from this. No way, Jose. I said what I said, period. Yeah. I said I don't give up about Anne Frank, and I meant it.
So you get the point. I wanted to show, you see how he act.
Yeah, we see.
Yeah.
And he playing, he's the Joker.
He is the
Agent of Chaos.
Agent of Chaos. Now, this is the police and SWAT came to what they call his headquarters. And somebody was shot there. And this is what some of the stuff he was saying.
So we're back. Sorry for the
signal trouble. I think they keep kicking me off of the live. But as you see, laying back naughties out here. We have Yaya. I'm like, yeah, babe. We have our comrades out here. We have full-blown SWAT teams out here today. Full-blown. Full-blown. Wow. Anyways, Joker has never been wrong about a human being so far. So anyways, long story short, one of the people that we house, but anyways, y'all, so much is happening. I just woke up and I haven't had my coffee, but yeah, I do not want y'all to worry that I'm going to be all right. We are all going to be all right, no matter what happens. Yeah, I'm just in a bit of a daze right now. So, Kino, who was walking my dog or whatever.
Okay, all right. So you get the point. So they got to stop, and he's trying to say the police are targeting them. The FBI is targeting them, and somebody died there, and people automatically assume that the person died because the police shot him. As you can see here,
there's still breath in my body. I still run an amazing revolutionary party. Our community is effing with us, and now all these news channels are going to want to interview us, and we are going to get to communicate about all the great work that we are doing here. So this is great. At the end of the day, this is a great moment. Right, comrade? This is a great moment. A moment where, you know, our voices will be amplified and our mission and cause will be informed.
so this guy here says he, or Ghazi Kadzo, got a homeless guy killed by the cops and then went live and talked about how great of an opportunity this is. Genuinely an evil person. This is the guy who they found who was dead. This is him. He called him his minister of defense, right? He put videos of him dancing and being part of their group, or what they have now called a cult, Black Hammer. But here's the crazy the cops didn't shoot him. Infamous cult leader arrested after dead body found in home. Ghazi Kadzo loves dressing as the Joker and once said Anne Frank was a Karen. On Tuesday, cops found a dead man in his house. Far-left activist rose to internet notoriety last year, a series of bizarre online pronouncements he made as leader of the French communist group called the Black Hammer Organization. Kadzo's online declarations, including the claim that Holocaust victim Anne Frank was whiny Karen. Funny how they're making that be the worst statement he ever said, somehow.
Because she's Jewish.
Like, somehow that's the worst he's ever done, I guess. Seemed designed to go viral as proof of left-wing activists out of control and earn mentions of Fox News and other conservative outlets. He also went on a panel with alt-right people and pushed this idea of being against the vaccine. But y'all ain't gonna talk about that. He collaborated with conservative people as well. But on Tuesday, Black Hammer, dubbed a cult by some former members, culminated in tragedy that morning. An anonymous caller in suburban Atlanta, home rented by Black Hammer, contacted police to report they were being held against their will. When police searched the home, they ordered Kadzo and 9 other people outside in the house. They found an 18-year-old man named Amante T. Amans dead of what police called an apparent self-inflicted gunshot wound to the head. Now, Kadzo, a 36-year-old, legal name is Augustus C. Romaine, faces a bevy of criminal charges, including aggravated sodomy, 2 counts of conspiracy to commit a felony, 2 counts of false imprisonment, 2 counts of kidnapping, 2 counts of aggravated assault, and 2 counts of criminal street gang activity. Remember, being a part of the street gang now is you're considered a terrorist.
Yeah.
You're considered a terrorist now, so that's why they hit him with that criminal street gang activity. According to a press release from Fayetteville Police Department, further details of the charge weren't available Wednesday from the police.
Where was this at?
Georgia. Atlanta.
Okay.
What the hell is going on?
He's acting as a Joker.
So remember the dude from the Not Fucking Around Coalition?
Yep.
He got arrested because he pointed a gun towards a camera where I think police were, and they arrested him. Now he's going back and forth to courts. I don't know if he's been given a sentence yet. We saw one of his members shoot their damn self with a gun accidentally. Then you see this dude trying to create this idea of a revolution, which clearly he's just a narcissist.
So are they saying the dude that got shot was suicide?
Yeah, they're trying to say it seems like it was a self-inflicted gunshot wound.
Okay.
So they think he might have killed himself in his house, and he just sat there for days with his body in there. This is crazy. So then they try to paint it like, okay, this dead body in his house, and the people started assuming that police did it and that he was doing it for attention, but no. It seems much more sinister than that. This dude is crazy.
Look at him.
The same thing happened with the dude. What's the dude name who took all the people out of America? Was it to Costa Rica or something? You remember what I'm talking about, right? Nature Boy.
Yeah, Nature Boy.
Nature Boy.
Didn't he go to Mexico?
Mexico, one of those places where all he doing was flying women out to sleep with him. Women will fly out
just
there.
the women.
Maybe, yeah. Man, too. All those women will fly out there. Some of the women will fly out there with their boyfriend or meet a dude there, and they end up laying down with him.
Exactly. Or he laying down with both.
I don't know any stories about him being with none of the dudes.
Okay.
But now he's back in America, if I'm not mistaken. But recently he was arrested. Within the last couple months or something like that, he was arrested for something I can't remember. What's up with all these cults popping up amongst black people? What the hell's going on? And niggas was going down there. It was mainly young people, but still.
Shaking my head.
Shit is crazy. I ain't anybody gonna show that either. I want to run through this now. Okay. We've been talking about the population dropping for a while now, and desperate times calls for desperate measures. So I'm gonna show this. Every branch of the military is struggling to make its 2022 recruiting goals. So America doesn't have enough people. One, it says right here, with a record low number of Americans eligible to serve.
What do you mean by that?
Weight.
Talking about mental?
Both.
Weight? Are you talking about age?
All of it. They're saying people aren't in shape.
That's
and
true.
people don't have the intelligence. You have to have a certain level of intelligence to be in the military.
And mental.
What you mean in mental? That's what I'm talking about, the intelligence.
No, I'm talking about mental as far as crazy.
And few of those willing to do this, So now, amongst the people that do qualify, most of them don't even want to be in the military anymore. So as you say, they don't have the mental, they don't have the crazy streak in them to want to be in the military. It is this the year we question the sustainability of an all-volunteer force. Seems like they're trying to bring back forcing you into the military. What do they call it? Draft.
Oh.
And you can get drafted until you're 35, babe. you ain't out of the woods. 35, you still can get drafted.
You ain't out of the woods.
Hey, don't worry about me. I don't got. U.S. Army proposes to cut its troop numbers below 1 million. Army will fall below 1 million soldiers for the first time in 2 decades under a new budget proposal as leaders struggle with recruitment in the aftermath of the coronavirus pandemic. The active duty Army will drop from 485,000 soldiers Congress authorized for the year to 473,000, a reduction of 12,000 people as part of a service fiscal 2023 budget proposal. When combined with the flat National Guard and Reserve Forces, the service will have a total of 998,500 soldiers. So America will have less than 1 million soldiers.
Wow.
We're going to go here. UK under international pressure over deletion of abortion comments. So even in the UK, they're worried about their numbers being low. So they deleted comments about abortion commitments and protections, or what they call women's rights, in the UK. So it has to be thought, damn, are they thinking about getting rid of abortion in the UK now?
Well, if they not, they should be, because their numbers are worse than it is over here.
Their population is older, yeah.
Norway, all those white countries over there are suffering in a decline right now.
Yeah. Then you see here, they also over there in the UK had this: the abortion privacy dangers in period trackers and apps. And I noticed I just want to show that they made sure, once again, they made sure to put a black woman.
A black woman. You see that black hand?
They made sure to put a black woman. Then we go here. And this right here is this is the Republicans. I'm sorry, this is the UK again. What is negative? What is negative child benefit? Demographers propose taxing childless people to boost population. He also suggests creating a pronatal culture, which would involve a parenthood day. So they're trying to recover the image of being a parent by saying, let's actually celebrate parenthood by giving it a holiday. And he's saying, if you don't have kids, you should be taxed.
They're trying to say,
they're trying to add to the population.
You're not added to the population, so
you're suffering the population. You're being selfish.
It's that bad out here.
It's that bad. It's UK. The fact that I heard this in the UK, this is where I got this article from, means that there's a lot of other countries thinking the same way. An article from the Times suggesting that we tax the childless and combat the UK slowdown in population growth has sparked a backlash. The 6.3% increase signals a slowdown in population growth over the last 10 years, according to figures released by the Office of National Statistics. Dr. Paul Moreland, author and demography researcher, suggests that the UK introduces a negative child benefit for people without children. Moreland, who writes about let's go down here. Moreland suggested educating people on getting pregnant becomes more difficult with age, and retargeting child benefits to incentivize families to have children. But the suggestion has been caused outrage is that we introduce a negative child benefit tax for those who do not have offspring. This may seem unfair on those who can't or won't have children, but it recognizes that we all rely on being the next generation, and that everyone should contribute to the cost of creating that generation. Use the funds to fix the UK's broken, expensive early year care system.
So we're going to tax people
for not having children. And take that money and give it to the early childhood of kids. So pay the people who have kids with the money of people who don't have kids.
Well, weren't they doing that? Weren't they paying people to have kids? Not in the UK, but like in Norway, somewhere in the European countries.
Yeah.
This was probably what 4 years ago?
Yeah, they were giving them extra time off from work. They were giving them
France was having classes on how to
get pregnant. Yeah, in Russia, was it Russia that called for sex education?
It wasn't Russia.
I feel like it was Russia. Maybe
it was somewhere in the It was somewhere in the UK.
Not the UK. You mean EU?
It was somewhere in the UK that they were promoting.
I don't know. Anyway, yeah. But yeah, they've been trying to push this for the last 3 or 4 years. So they're going to take the money from people who don't have kids. You're going to help take care of other people's kids if you don't have one on your own. Hey, they get desperate. They don't know what to do. They need you. They need people.
Well, good luck with that.
Now, this is another thing. I found this yesterday. Dead men can still be fathers through postmortem sperm retrieval, but is it ethical? Israeli soldiers' parents launched a campaign earlier this year to get permission to use his sperm cells for conception after he was murdered while on duty. In 2020, an IDF operation in West Bank, Helmand of Yabad, claimed the life of Israeli soldier Amit Bel Yigal, age 21. His father took his sperm soon after he passed away. Jerusalem Post quoted his father, Ben Yal, saying that his son truly wanted to be a parent. He, the son, wrote about it. He spoke about it. He told publication that after the death of his son, he was stopped from being a parent. However, does that want to be stripped from being a grandparent? Ugal claimed to have 182 women's contact information who are ready to serve as surrogate mothers. Still, he and his wife cannot use their dead son's sperm due to state restrictions. I didn't even know that needed to be a restriction. I didn't know people were trying to do this.
I didn't know you can use a dead person's sperm.
Which lets me think this. Have they already been doing this?
Yes, they've already been doing that. They're just letting you know now that they've been doing it.
So how many of the, imagine.
Well, they do that to sperm bank. Then they don't need people to go
That's what I'm about
there.
to say. How many people in the sperm bank are actually alive? How many people's DNA in the sperm bank are actually alive?
Don't know.
And do they use this? You remember when we were talking about Jeffrey Epstein and how he said he wanted to create a super race?
That's what my mom was going to.
Was he just keeping his eye out for anybody who he deemed to be special to die so he can get their semen?
Probably so.
And do they do the same thing with women?
Take
Can they
their
retrieve a
eggs?
woman's eggs after she dead? I would think probably not in that way. Women, maybe women is different. They can't do that. But shit, like you said, I'm surprised they could do it for men. So now, in a society that don't have enough children, they're gonna make you have children now. If you die, they're gonna scrounge. Are they gonna scrounge graves or morgues?
Not black people though.
Are they gonna be in morgues while they taking the organs out of your loved one, also taking the semen out of his?
Probably so. And remember, if you agree to donate it, that means they can have access to anything. So
they might be creating some crazy shit behind the scenes.
Might be.
They are. You're right. I did not know they can do this. Now it make you think like, damn, like how many of these people they just getting when they die? Like
quite a few.
Damn. Well, they desperate, man. They need kids. They need children. And you wrong. They do want the black ones.
Why?
To strengthen the genes. And then they white it out.
So they're going to have biracial kids?
And then have that biracial, get with a white person, and it cleans it back out. That's their plan. That's why they're pushing the interracial thing now.
But if it get whitened out, those genes eventually gonna be faded out and go away again.
That's the point. You introduce them every couple of 100 years. That's what they were talking about with the royal family. That's why they went and got Meghan Markle. She got a little bit of nigga in her. So strengthen the genes back up. Republican lawmakers filed Unborn Child Support Act. These are the Republicans. Republican lawmakers
Look
filed.
who they chose to show again.
Exactly. Republican lawmakers filed a bill Wednesday that would require expecting fathers to pay child support beginning at conception. The Unborn Child Support Act would establish the enforced child support obligation to a biological father of an unborn child in the womb. With the mother's consent, once paternity is proven, fathers would be responsible for the payment amounts determined by the court. Now, the reason why the Republicans did this is because a lot of people who are pro-abortion, they're saying, well, who's going to take care of the child? The woman, during pregnancy, she has to deal with expenses and finance troubles.
What expenses she got to deal with?
Going back and forth to the doctor.
Most of them on Medicaid, Medicare.
Going back and forth to the doctor, paying for the necessary stuff needed. So they made excuses to Travis not agreeing with them. I'm saying that's the excuse they use. So then Johnson said he hopes Democrats will support the bill. It provides answers to many pro-abortion Democrats' claims that pro-life Republicans don't care about children after they're born or for expecting mothers experiencing financial challenges.
Well, you don't care because you taking it and putting it on. I'm not saying the father should be.
It is caring. You're making the father take care of his kid. What you mean that's not caring? That's caring the most. If you're saying that the society don't want to take the burden, well, put it back on the father.
But how can you? We're living in a society where people can barely pay their bills.
You had a kid.
Okay, but you also telling people they need to have kids, right? So you telling people that they need to have kids.
Yeah.
But also you're not paying enough money for people to be able to.
That's a different discussion.
Live.
That's a different discussion.
Now that's crazy. So you're forced. You're telling me I need to have
people. Hold on, you're not forcing people to have kids.
You're telling me that we need to have kids so there's a next generation.
Wait. They want you to have kids. They can't force you.
They want you to have kids.
Yeah.
So there's a next generation.
Yeah.
So also because for more slaves and workers.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, we're gonna make you pay this, even though you know you're not giving enough money as far as wages for people to afford.
They're not making you have kids. If you're having kids, you should be able to afford it.
Well, in the UK, they are making you have kids because if you don't have kids, they're gonna tax your ass.
That's not. It's not in law. That's just the dude. It's not even a bill.
We're talking about if it comes into law.
Well, that's a different discussion.
No, it's into law.
Well, no. They said if they make you have kids, they're gonna make you pay taxes if you don't have kids. You're gonna be helping take care of the kids of other people.
So I'm still gonna be taking care of kids though, because either I'm taking care of somebody else's kids, or I'm taking care of my kids.
Yeah. So when you gotta take care of your own, you're not taxed.
What if I don't want kids?
No, you're missing the point. You said that it's a bad thing because the money ain't right. Well, if you have kids, there's a benefit to it. You get more money. You get money for having kids.
So what they do if everybody start having kids?
Everybody get money. The society economy goes up anyway because you got more people to work.
It's crazy.
The fact that it was Republicans though is hilarious. And can Democrats really be against this? I mean, can they?
They'll find some way.
Now, obviously, you see who Pixie that is. Now, growing up, I've seen a few relationships where a man and a woman have a child coming, and then she's 2-3 months pregnant, and they break up. And the woman refers to the man as a deadbeat. Do you think a man is a deadbeat if he break up with a woman during pregnancy?
It depends. It depends on, was she the cause for the breakup?
It could be he could flat out just want to leave because he want to leave.
You can't force somebody to be with you, so no.
Nigga, is it a deadbeat?
No, is it a deadbeat to you?
Why are you asking me? I'm asking you a question. You still didn't answer it.
No, it's not a deadbeat. You can't force somebody to be with you. What's the difference between him being with you? He gonna stay with you because you're pregnant, and then after you had a baby, he leave you versus him not wanting to be with you now. Let him, yeah.
I'm not talking about the morality of leaving a woman or not. I'm talking about, is he a deadbeat leaving a woman while she's pregnant?
No, if that's something he want to do, no.
Okay. But
you're not going to answer the question.
I'm about to answer the question now. But with this as a law, that would be a deadbeat.
Why?
Because if you break up with a woman while she's pregnant and she goes file for child support, is a man who pays child support a deadbeat? I guess that's the other question I want to ask.
No, how is it a deadbeat?
Is it all you need to do is pay child support?
Well, no, you need to be physically involved.
That's what I'm asking you. You can define the rules yourself.
Yeah, you got to be physically involved. It's not just financially, it's physical too.
So if a woman is pregnant, a man break up with her and she filed for child support against him, obviously got to get a DNA test. And he's not and he's paying child support while she's pregnant, but he's not involved in her doctor visits or anything. Is he a deadbeat?
No.
Okay.
Why would he be paying child support while she's pregnant?
Because this what this law is. I
don't understand what financial.
Getting back, I just said it. The stuff they got to pay for, the medicine they have to take, the prenatals and all the other stuff. Like they need somebody to help pay the trips.
Trips
food,
where?
Food they're eating for 2 people now.
What trips?
Back and forth to the doctor and all the other places they got to go.
They're eating for 2 people?
Yeah.
Most of them be eating for 2 people before they even get pregnant.
Well, we know they eat for 3 people then.
Come on.
Now, when I saw this, obviously when I read the comments, immediately it was niggas who was saying, "Oh Lord, now they're trying to get a nigga when a woman is pregnant." It's bad enough because a lot of dudes on child support say it's unfair. When they learn how this thing works, they say that child support is unfair. So a lot of dudes saw that and said, "Oh Lord, now we got to deal with child support before the baby is even born."
Well, that's why you got to choose you got to pick and choose who you choose to have kids with.
So then the conversation came out about,
and also I think this is a way of the Republican Party trying to restore family instead of having single parents.
That's 100%
family structure.
That's 100% what it is. The same thing in the UK. That's why they're trying to they add in taxes and tax benefits to having kids or not having kids. You get punished if you don't. You get rewarded if you do.
Like the shit Obama made with you having to pay a penalty if you don't have health insurance.
Who?
Obama.
You said Michelle Obama.
I said Obama.
I thought you said Michelle Obama. I was like, damn,
If you
what
don't
she
have
do?
a health insurance, you got to pay a penalty on your taxes.
Yeah. So the conversation that came up was, that's why I asked you, what is a deadbeat? The conversation came out about black men and fatherhood and what is the statistics, the stereotype of black male fathers. And I asked you, growing up, did you notice a lot of black men who weren't in their children's lives?
I said, yeah.
Who?
Our father.
I said, you know, a lot.
I can name 5 off the top, but.
Well, hold on. Now you're trying to change it down.
I ain't trying to change the
we talked
answer.
about this, and you said no majority word. Now you're saying I don't know, maybe.
No, what I'm saying is, I saw a lot that were involved. Were there, at least I could say.
Yeah.
And then I have examples of not
The
being
few.
involved.
So the majority versus the few.
Yeah, from what I saw, because I wasn't
Chad,
around
that's
everybody.
your anecdotal experience. I'm not asking for statistics. Damn. So when I read this right here, there was
I don't even know why these conversations keep getting brought up, to be honest with you. Who keep bringing up these conversations about the black man and being involved? How do these conversations keep getting brought up? Who bring them up?
Because anytime you bring up relationships, children, family, that's a topic. So then this right here, there was a study done by the National Health Statistics Report in 2013 where they talked about the statistics between different races of fathers and their likelihood to be a part of their kids' lives. And we went through this, and in this report, they talked to 10,000 fathers. In this report, it says that black fathers were at least equal in being a part of their children's lives. And we went through this, and I actually
At least equal. Most of them, he's over.
I said at least equal. Do you believe that these statistics are reflecting to what you grew up seeing?
Somewhat.
What do you mean somewhat?
Somewhat. That's my answer.
But I swear, for some reason, you didn't want to give an answer when we're recording.
I'm giving you an answer somewhat. You want it to be black and white. You don't want no gray. It's somewhat.
You were way more definitive in your answer yesterday. Now, all of a sudden, I don't know. Maybe so. I don't get it. But anyway, Betsy DeVos, ex-education secretary Betsy DeVos says Department of Education should not exist. Well, we know why she want to get rid of the Department of Education.
Why?
Because the school curriculum is going against the narrative that she grew up with.
Which was?
White is right. These kids now, when I was growing up, obviously we learned about Abraham Lincoln, Benjamin Franklin, Einstein, George, we learned about all these white men and how they did these great things. Well, those same kids are learning about those same people. Now they're learning, this person was a slave owner, this person was this. They're learning certain negative things about these people. So unlike their fathers who grew up thinking about the greatness that his people accomplished, their sons are growing up figuring out that a lot of that stuff is lies and a lot of that stuff is kind of overdone, and these people were the best people. So now their sons, particularly their Caucasian boys, are starting to fail at a rate. They're starting to be comparable to black little boys. So now the mothers, the Caucasian mothers, are like, oh hell no. They starting these little groups and stuff to try and change the education system back to what it used to be, and stop their sons from growing up with self-esteem and confidence problems. Are they right in doing that?
Yeah, I mean, you're supposed to do what's best for your people.
So when I saw people saying like black people be aware of this, it's like if you just now need to be aware of this, this is kind of obvious. They're going to do this. These Caucasian women are going to defend their boys. They don't want their sons.
That's what they're supposed to do.
Exactly. They're not going to let their sons, the new leaders of their community, grow up and have any sort of problems looking in the mirror and respecting what they see.
Exactly.
And then the last thing on this topic right here, if you're talking about the numbers. Now, YouTube came up from a different perspective, obviously. YouTube says it will crack down on abortion misinformation and remove videos with false claims.
What's the misinformation?
I see a little bit. YouTube said that Thursday is cracking down on videos containing abortion misinformation and will take down videos deemed unsafe. Starting today, to ramping up over the next few weeks, we will remove content that provides instructions for unsafe abortion methods or promotes false claims about abortion safety under our medical misinformation policy. YouTube parent Google has become under fire in recent months after a group of lawmakers began urging the company to clamp down on search results that allegedly steer people looking for abortion services to crisis pregnancy centers opposing abortion. Wait. So they were mad with Google because Google's search engine was when women would search up abortion services, would send them to a crisis pregnancy center that opposed abortion. So Google was sending women to the anti-abortion centers, and people are mad with them for doing that. So what they have to do with YouTube cracking down on misinformation? Did that mean I can't say my opinion on the matter? It's misinformation?
Well, they also said they're cracking down on
the unsafe abortion methods and stuff.
Yeah,
but that's YouTube.
That was good.
But what they got to do with Google?
Because YouTube and Google are...
I'm saying what does YouTube got to do with Google being under fire for sending women to anti-abortion centers or pro-life centers, should I say? What do they got to do with YouTube? Earlier this month, that it would work quickly delete location history for people going to abortion sites and other medical sites following the Supreme Court overturning Roe v. Wade. Like all our policies in health medical topics, we rely on published guidance from health authorities. YouTube said on Thursday, we prioritize connecting people to content from authoritative sources and health topics, and we continuously review our policies and products as real-world events unfold. The company said it's launching an information panel to provide viewers with context and information from local and global health authorities that will show up underneath abortion-related videos and above relevant search results. YouTube gave an example how it would display, showing a definition of abortion according to the National Library of Medicine. An abortion is a procedure to end pregnancy. The display said it uses medical or surgery to remove the embryo or fetus and placenta from the uterus. The procedure is done by a licensed healthcare professional. So you know how when you talk about COVID and they put a little, here's how the fact check, or you talk about the assassination of Kennedy, and here's the fact check.
And there's a box coming from monkeypox.
Oh yeah, the monkeypox one coming. You know there's already people saying that monkeypox was lab created and that it leaked. I said, oh, with this again? We back to the lab leak theory with monkeypox.
Well, monkeypox been around for a while though. They come from Central West Africa, so.
And I guess they saying it leaked.
And monkey don't have nothing to do with it, so I don't know why they even named it monkeypox.
What you mean?
Oh, I know why.
Because they use monkeys.
Because it came from Africa.
Yeah, no, they use monkeys to create the shit. Monkeys ain't walking around.
The monkeys don't have nothing to do with monkeypox.
I know they created it through monkeys. That's my point. Chinese military issues warning to U.S. Beijing vows to defend its territorial integrity after Washington approved a major arms deal with Taiwan. Are they going to try to go to war with China? I don't think so. We know the leader of the country has ties to China. So what is this really about? Is this just theater?
This is theater.
But China also is working with Russia.
Even the stuff with Russia and the United States is theater. All of this is theater. The drunk.
Biden said military does not support Nancy Pelosi trip to Taiwan. The president stopped short of suggesting that a House Speaker not make the reported visit to self-ruling island, which Beijing has warned strongly against. So the Pentagon told Biden that Nancy should not go to Taiwan. Now I think her trip is in October. A lot of shit going down in September, October. Well, August too. August, September, and October. Those 3 months gonna be the real summer.
And then not only that, speaking of, this year is supposed to be a bad year for hurricanes. They've already predicted it. It's because it's so hot in the Gulf of Mexico that a lot of the tropical storms gonna turn into hurricanes, and they think we're gonna have something like Hurricane Katrina this year.
General Milley ordered staff to gather info in every interaction between Chinese and U.S. militaries amid rising tension. The chairman of the Joint Chiefs ordered a review as a number of close encounters between Chinese and U.S. ships in Plain Groves. He's trying to get proof for something. Ain't like he's trying to get proof for why they gonna attack or something. So is he sending this to China to say you guys have been antagonizing us? And they go, where? We haven't been doing that. So now he gonna get the information and send it to him or something?
I guess so.
Okay. This right here. Now, if y'all haven't noticed, the last 2 or 3 months across the globe, there's been a very noticeable sum of people, global leaders, who are stepping down from position of power. Mario Draghi resigns, plunging Italy into political turmoil. So that's one. Then you see this one right here. Estonian Prime Minister resigns, prepares to form new government. These people were pro-West, so they were not for the Russian. They were pro-West. They want to be part of the Europe world, as they say, the West, right? Then you had the Bulgarian Prime Minister, Pekvakov, resigns after losing confidence vote. And somehow this one slipped me. This happened a couple months ago.
Oh, I knew about Boris.
No,
no.
The Israeli Prime Minister is stepping down, sparking new round of elections.
He just got.
This dude, Bennett, went against Netanyahu. They had like 5 elections.
It was hard to get his ass out of
there.
there.
He finally got him out, and he steps down.
Which means he was just put in to get him out of
power.
Yeah.
So there's somebody else.
He was a placeholder.
There's somebody else they want to be part of this global movement. And as you know, one of the bigger stories that happened was this Sri Lankan president resigns by email after fleeing to Singapore. Also, the guy who now we're gonna go ahead and go to this one right here. And
Sri Lankan.
Another one that was very popular is Boris Johnson. Hasta la vista, baby. Boris Johnson bids farewell and has 5 bits of advice for Britain's next prime minister, who is more than likely going to be that Liz Truss chick, who, by the way, is a part of the World Economic Forum. Her and the guy she's going to against, Russia.
I think everybody was waiting for the next tab to be President Biden resigns, steps down.
Shit. We've been trying to get that man out of office mentally for like for about 2 years now.
Trudeau ain't stepping down.
Now, Ranil, I can't say that last name. Sri Lankan sees new president sworn into office. Guess what? He's also a part of the World Economic Forum. Which is what Klaus, that dude Klaus is with. Where you get that New World Order, the liberal New World Order? He's a part of it. And I got to show this right here. IEA chief, now remember, all those people, for the most part, are connected, except maybe Israel, are connected to, what's his name of the Ukraine, Zelensky. They all were in support of Ukraine against Russia. So it's funny how they stepping down. A lot of those people were support.
Even the people they're going to get back in, they're going to be the same way. So
exactly. IEA chief, Europe must cut gas use to 20% to survive winter. Now, if we're in the middle of summer, and they're telling you that they need to cut the gas now, I'm not going to read the article. They're saying we need to cut the gas usage now by 20%. But we know that politicians don't work their way, and they're going to have to have meetings and go back and forth on planes and scared to talk about it. And they won't probably actually start talking about cutting the gas usage until maybe October or at least August. Yeah, about August maybe. Or maybe
September.
Yeah, September probably more than likely. So by that time you're kind of already in the hole because Russia, who turned off their gas pipeline, I know they turned it off for 10 days for maintenance.
They do that every year.
Mm-hmm. In the middle of this, right? Okay.
They do it every year.
You think that's just what it is, and then they only turn it back on at 40% usage.
They're gonna turn it all the way back up.
Yeah, okay.
They're just playing with
So
them.
they're missing 60% of their gas usage already. 60% you're already down. So where's this shit gonna be headed in November, December?
The gas gonna be back on by then.
No, I think there's gonna be a power shortage, and you might see a power lockdown. What are they planning on locking down half the world because of the lack of power or gas, as they say, because they use that to power in most of their places?
Well, they're gonna be home, so
you ain't gonna be home.
If you
know what run off of that, the entire public transportation system runs off of that.
I know, but so they're gonna lock you down to stay in your house
because you don't have enough gas. I mean, you don't have enough power.
But in the wintertime, it's gonna be cold. You're gonna be wanting to turn on your natural gas.
That's the point. They're gonna ration it. They're gonna ration the resources amongst all the European countries. Whoever coldest, you get the most. And they're gonna just, hey, you're using too much. We don't care. You saved up your reserves and you have enough to, your people can be warm all winter. We need to take some of yours and give it over here. Which is why the UK said we're getting the hell out of the European Union. But how long before that affects America? America is sending out shit to Europe and all over the world. So at some point, they're going to affect their reserves.
It's already, I think it's already affecting it. But
August, September, gonna be some.
We don't get that cold.
October,
here.
Huh?
It doesn't get that cold here.
Shit, me. All of a sudden, when ain't no power, it's gonna get cold. You gonna notice how
cold.
Throw
a blanket on.
Okay, throw a blanket on then. Now this is Putin talking about the West and the liberal world order.
Набирают обороты, набирают силу. Эти грандиозные изменения, конечно, необратимы. И как на национальном, так и на глобальном уровне идет выработка основ, принципов гармоничного, более справедливого, социально ориентированного и безопасного миропорядка. Альтернативного существующему или, можно сказать, существовавшему до сих пор однополярному мироустройству, которое по своему характеру, безусловно, становится тормозом для развития цивилизации. Модель тотального доминирования так называемого «золотого миллиарда» несправедлива.
He said the model of the total dominance by the so-called golden billion Western oligarchy is unfair. So Putin, for the last couple of months, has been speaking against the West is dominating the planet. Basically saying it's time to switch this up. Trying to go to another superpower who might run things more fairly.
Do you think they're gonna run it more fairly?
Hell no.
Exactly.
Putin want power. Putin said, look, man, just give me, well, actually it's China. China really think they're gonna be the next superpower coming.
They've already had their time when they had power.
Now I want to show this right here. This is the stuff they want us to care about right here. This is a protest for Roe v. Wade outside of the, whatchamacallit, and AOC and a few members of the squad were arrested in protest.
They were arrested?
They were arrested. Let's see what happened. Now, as you can see,
she doing a slow bob. She flipping her hair. Some of that.
She wasn't in cuffs, and the other woman who was being detained didn't have her hands behind her back. No, this one here, the woman she walking with didn't bother put her hands.
Yeah. She
didn't put her hands behind her back.
Because she's not arrested.
But
yes,
AOC is.
She's sane.
How the hell did AOC all of a sudden put a fist up and then put her hands behind her back? Now
well, she gives a reason why she did what she did.
Now, when people called this out, you had a lot of Republicans saying, "Oh, this is fake." Once again, the left is lying and staging shit. AOC came out and said, "I wasn't lying. This is good practice. You should always put your hands behind your back when dealing with police so that they can't try to get you for resisting arrest." And it was like, but the woman next to you ain't got her hands behind her back. She just walking. That police officer clearly ain't gonna try to arrest you. You're one of the most popular congresswomen in the damn
Amber's video being recorded of you, so
yeah, everybody saw what was going on.
Yeah, she's a fraud.
So as you can see here, it says AOC denies faking being handcuffed during her arrest, calling her hand positioning best practice while detained.
Man,
fake as hell. And the people saw this, they said, "Look at the Milli Vanilli squad."
Milli Vanilli.
She was getting booed by
exactly.
She was getting booed. She kind of disappeared off the map. she kind of disassociated herself from the
What's
whole
his
squad.
name?
Bakari Sellers.
He want her out of there,
Rashida,
Detroit.
He was trying to get rid of her.
They're trying to get her out of Detroit.
She kind of disassociated herself a little bit because she was on Kamala's side. She's kind of one of the apprentice of Kamala. She getting booed. AOC getting exposing her own self every damn day.
Yeah, you know what? She's supposed to run for president.
I don't think she should do it.
It was either this term or the next one, but she shouldn't do it.
I think she's the next Nancy Pelosi.
She's too much of a narcissist to run for president. I think she didn't play it off very well.
I think you have to be a pretty big narcissist to think you deserve to run a country.
She didn't play it off well.
House passes bill protecting marriage equality with 47 GOP members voting yes. I wonder how many of those GOP people. Well, the marriage equality, I guess, defended same-sex marriage and interracial marriage. Does that need to be defended?
What you mean?
When I say need to be defended, I mean, who are they really going to put a law in where you can't be in an interracial marriage in America now?
They should.
I would love. That's what I would love. I would love for them to strike down the interracial marriage laws and just to see the reaction.
See who would be most in the outrage.
Boy, I know it would be on fire across social media. It'd be like, are you serious? Y'all really crying this hard? Y'all crying this hard and not be able to marry outside your race?
What group would be in the most outrage?
What do you mean, what group?
What group?
I don't know. It definitely wouldn't be
Asian women.
Oh, they might be up there.
I think they'd be in the most outrage.
You think Asian women?
They showing more white and Asian commercials too for the past.
Yeah, they lighting it up
3
on
weeks.
black people.
They're giving black people a break.
They're showing black couples. They said they hide black people in commercials now. They hide the black couples.
They get a 3-second glimpse.
Yeah, this is another thing they want us to care about. January 6th.
Don't nobody care about no January.
The hidden agenda behind New York Times desperate puff piece on Ray Epps. Ray Epps is the dude who's clearly has ties to some alphabet intelligence community, whether it's CIA, FBI, Homeland Security, one of them.
LGBTQ is a damn.
When they say alphabet intelligence community, they're talking about CIA and stuff.
They CIA too.
Now, this is the article that New York Times posted. It's just been hell. Life as a victim of the January 6th conspiracy theory. A lot of those Trump supporters are saying this dude is he's a cop. Remember when he was outside the place and he was telling them we need to go to the Capitol, and then he started talking about going in, and they said, Fed, like he's a federal agent, ignore him. Well, for some reason, New York Times want to defend him and come to his defense. And I haven't heard any of the January 6th people want to interview him live on television. Now, all the other people that they got on camera are in jail. They in jail. They behind bars waiting for their sentence.
Still looking for some of them.
Which is only like a few months. I will say this. The Trump supporters acting like these dudes are getting 30 years or something. Like they're getting like 9 months, 6, 7 months here and there. The longest I've seen at least is like a year and a half. So these sentences are not crazy the way they're acting like it is. So why would the New York Times want to defend a MAGA supporter? He's a Trump supporter. Why is New York Times calling a Trump supporter a victim?
Because he's not no Trump supporter.
He's an agent.
Exactly.
And New York Times, which is owned by Jeff Bezos, who has a contract with intelligence agencies. He has a contract with them. So clearly they, putting out a fluff piece.
Hell, Bezos pretty much owns Seattle, so.
Bezos is, he earned what he got, I guess. January 6th Capitol riot hearings lay blame at Trump's feet. That's what it's all about. And Trump, didn't Trump announce he's running at his wife's funeral? He announced he's running at his wife's funeral, basically. He had a Trump 2024. I don't know if it was real. They might have edited it. So now they're still trying to push this January 6th thing and trying to make it where Trump can be hit with the same thing they hit the, what do they call them? Jesus, the Confederate people with, that they can't run for office. They couldn't hold no government positioning if they're found guilty. So they're trying to hit Trump with it so he can't run for office again. But this is all narrative. They needed Trump out of office so that they can do what they did last year or so.
Nope, ain't gonna happen this time.
So what is the narrative they want to push now? Are they gonna push DeSantis? Because it seems like they're trying to really make him the
what about that black
ire.
guy you said?
I think he's gonna run.
Out of South Carolina?
I think he's gonna run.
What's his name?
I forgot his name.
Scott. Something Scott.
Some Scott. I know you're talking about.
Is it Jim Scott?
Yeah, Tim Scott.
Tim Scott.
I think he's gonna run.
Yeah.
I think he's gonna run. But
I hope we don't end up being like your boy.
That's not my boy.
Adams.
Adams is not my boy.
Byron.
By the way, when is the last time? Why are most of these politicians now running not married?
You heard me. Yeah, you heard me say that the other day.
No, I've been saying that we've been saying this. What are you talking about? The reason why I brought that up.
I clearly was talking about that the other day.
Trying to
though.
take credit for a talking point. Tim Scott isn't married yet. He might run for the Republican Party.
I said, why are all these
Nigga,
politicians
damn,
out
really?
here
All right.
single, no families? That used to be the basis of
trustworthy.
being a we know that it goes into trustworthy and such, but that was just your base.
You had to have
You had to have a family. You had to have
Same reason
a
why-
wife or a husband and at least one kid.
Same reason why Obama married Michelle Obama. He needed,
He needed what?
He needed her for the black base.
He didn't need her for no kids, because we know.
Nigga, how you? I didn't even almost say that. You just want to say it, then say it, nigga. But yeah, they still trying to get Trump up out of here, even though the man he's not in office. But but just to John Bolton, because they trying to say that the January 6th was a coup attempt. That's what John Bolton had to say about that being called a coup attempt.
Democracy. It's Donald Trump looking out for Donald Trump. It's a once-in-a-lifetime occurrence.
I don't know that I agree with you. To be fair, with all due respect, one doesn't have to be brilliant to attempt a coup.
I disagree with that. As somebody who has helped plan coup d'état, not here, but other places, it takes a lot of work, and that's not what he did. It was just stumbling around from one idea to another. Ultimately, he did unleash the rioters at the Capitol. As to that, there's no doubt. But not to overthrow the Constitution, to buy more time to throw the matter back to the states to try and redo the issue. And if you don't believe that, you're going to overreact. And I think that's a real risk for the committee, which has done a lot of good work, mostly when the witnesses testify, not when the members are opining. It is invariably the case that when you go too far trying to prove your case, you undermine it.
So what he's saying is, don't go for murder when there's only don't go for murder one when it should be what do they call it?
Oh, like with the police officer, don't go for manslaughter.
Yeah, don't go for murder when it's manslaughter. Yeah.
But they trying to go for the biggest
They
thing
want
to
murder.
get.
They want bloody murder. This is right here what you should be worried about. Is Russia getting ready to declare a nuke red line on Ukraine?
We should be worried about that. That's in the Ukraine. They ain't here.
If they nuke Ukraine, what you think gonna happen?
What's gonna happen?
You think America and the EU just gonna sit there? You think if Russia nuke Ukraine, they're gonna send one nuke? They sending at least a handful to America. That's the first one they're going after, America. They're gonna send one to Ukraine. People are like, they just nuke. Oh, they got something coming your way right now.
They don't want the smoke.
And as you can see, the name of this website is called 1945. Why is 19, and it's in red.
It's meant for you to see it. They want to be bold.
Communist red.
I know, but you need to be bold and stand out.
So why did they name it 1945? Because that was the announcement of the New World Order. Check the date. The first time you heard that, New World Order was announced and made a thing in 1945.
Everything ties in.
It does. Biden approval rating falls to 36%, matching record low.
Ain't this every week?
It's like
okay. Last week it was 37.
I thought one time they said it was 29%. Remember that?
Me too. I thought it was way lower than that. I think they actually gave them about 20.
Like y'all said it was 29. Now it's.
I think it's about 14.
Now another thing that happened with Biden's support. Obviously, one of the key factors in his support falling is black men. And this right here, I saw this right here. It says Steve Bannon said the key to taking over the House and Senate in 2022 was black men. From what I've been seeing on social media, misinformation has been purposely targeting black men.
Ain't that the truth?
They're working overtime to get y'all vote Republican or not vote at all.
What you mean? Hold on.
This person is he's a hard Democrat.
No, I didn't. I'm not agree with what he's saying. It's talking about trying to work overtime to get us to vote Republican. They targeting us on YouTube.
What do you mean?
Black platforms mainly.
What do you mean?
You don't feel like YouTube is targeting black creators?
No, it's not what he's saying. He's saying Republicans are saying that black men helped them win office.
Well, at this point, anything but Democratic Party.
No, he's trying to say that black men are so stupid that they're being tricked by the Republican Party.
They're not stupid. They ain't being tricked.
That's my point. He's saying they are.
He being tricked by the Democratic Party.
He said there's a lot of backlash happening right now towards the largest voting bloc, black women, who have a black woman vice president who black men called a whore. Black man? That wasn't just people?
It was people in general.
And Ketanji Brown Jackson, our first black woman SCOTUS, who they attacked for having a quote-unquote white husband. Why is it in quotations? He is white. That's not when you put it in quotations, it's like it's not a fact. That's true. But that's not, do people pay attention to, did we ever talk? How much did we talk about her having a Caucasian husband?
No, we talking more about her being the first thing he called her.
No, we talking about Ketanji Brown Jackson.
Oh no, we brought her husband up at one. As a matter of fact, when we actually brought the husband up, we were talking about the fact that she still kept her last name. She did Brown Jackson.
When we talked about her, we talked about the fact that she was defending the sentencing of pedophiles.
That's the only time I brought up her husband. It was like he would, he didn't want to take his name full blown on. She kept her last name Brown. She did Brown Jackson. That's the only thing I said about a white husband.
Look at this. She said, I've been saying this for a while. They've been targeting black men for a long time. It's been a slow running moving op, but it seems to be picking up steam now. They use the success of black women to manipulate black men into believing we don't value them. God damn it.
No, y'all do a good job on that by yourself.
Pointing out that Democrats are not delivering policies that matter to black men and women is not misinformation.
You must have didn't hear T.D. Jake's his sermon on Father's Day.
Oh, yeah. Someone please explain to me how a black man or woman, for that matter, could vote for a Republican. They don't have to vote for a Republican. They only have to not vote at all. Now, here's the thing. When they say that if you don't vote, you're voting for Republican either way, it's almost like you're saying the Democrats deserve my vote. And if I don't vote for them, I'm wrong. I'm the enemy. Like you're saying as a black man, as a black person, my default vote is Democrat.
I don't even try to make sense of it.
These people are crazy. But let's remember last year, Biden had some comments at the beginning of the year. Let's see what he said early 2021.
You're okay. You're not going to get COVID if you have these vaccinations.
He said it. That's what he said. And then what was this? A couple of days ago?
Yeah, he about ready to be clear of it. But they are keeping a close eye on him.
They're keeping a close eye on him, all right. Statement from Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre. This morning, President Biden tested positive for COVID-19. He is fully vaccinated and twice boosted. Damn. And experiencing very mild symptoms. He has begun to take Paxlovid. Consistent with CDC guidelines, he will isolate at the White House and will continue to carry out all his duties and fully during that time. He's been in contact with the members of the White House staff by phone this morning and participate in his planned meetings at the White House this morning via phone and Zoom for the residents. You mean Obama will continue.
The big guy.
Now, I can't even say what I want to say on this topic, which is...
Yeah, you better not, because... well, hell, you can say it on this channel. But
we're going to put it on the main channel, so, this is crazy, yo. I can't even say what's right, what's true.
Misinformation. Stop putting out misinformation.
That part where it says he is fully vaccinated and twice boosted and experiencing very mild symptoms. I'm going to say this. That ain't supposed to happen. That's it. Let's move home. That's not supposed to be a thing. Kamala Harris could have been recklessly dropping COVID viral load all over the place today. How often is she around? Is she around Biden?
I don't think she's around him at all.
Exactly. So is it even possible she even around him?
She around Obama.
Which means she around Obama.
That's who she reports to.
Oh. Didn't so Biden went to Asia, the Middle East, and I think his last trip was in Israel. Or he was in Israel at some point.
His last trip was in Israel. Because he was shaking hands with the air.
So where did he get COVID?
I ain't putting out that misinformation from where he got it from.
Where he get it from? And Kamala, they trying to get you up out of here. That's why they doing this to you. They saying Kamala gave him COVID.
Oh, she trying to get him up out of here.
Now, COVID is back in the news, as you said. They're saying the COVID numbers are going up, and this needs to be talked about again, and we need another lockdown. Who Europe warns of challenging COVID-19 autumn and winter?
I'm scared. I don't want another lockdown. People are already losing their mind out here.
Ain't no telling what
I don't want another lockdown. I don't want to be out there by myself.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not telling. No, I'm not telling it.
Why?
But I'm just going to say this.
Why you want to tell the story?
I don't want to be out there by myself.
Why you want to tell the story?
I just don't want to tell it. I'll tell it when we
go to the main.
When we go to the main.
So you can explain it better or something?
Yeah.
In front of the people?
Yeah. It's crazy out here on these streets.
The World Health Organization Europe office in Tuesday warned of a challenging autumn and winter amid a summer surge of COVID-19 cases and reduced surveillance among member states. Didn't they say that people are really dealing with mild symptoms? The hospitals aren't really dealing with nobody. So people have to get it at this point. I think you brought it. I think you had it, and I think you gave it to me.
I didn't have no COVID.
What was it?
You said you had COVID, and then when it first supposedly started in November.
Every black person you know, 60% of black people you know told you they had COVID in November. We saw. I remember all the people that was saying it. Yeah, I did too. Late November, I got this random sickness.
I didn't.
I had like a fever. I had a sore throat. I had a headache. I said, I think I had corona.
You don't get over COVID in one day.
It wasn't one day. It was 3 days, 4 days.
Well, you saying I had COVID.
That was two. You said you was sick for 2 weeks.
I wasn't sick for 2 weeks. I was able to be off for that day and get up and take my ass to work the next day. If you have COVID, you're not getting up and going to work the next day unless I'm just old.
You had mild symptoms. You had mild symptoms. Anyway,
I'm superhuman.
It's back, baby. It's back. At least they're trying to make it come back. This is one we saw. You brought this up today. 2 children in the U.S. have been diagnosed with monkeypox. One is a toddler in California, and the other is an infant who is not a U.S. resident, according to the Center for Disease Control and Prevention.
How does this kid get monkeypox?
Now, monkeypox, once again, we know who it affects the most. So how do these kids end up with it? It's through physical contact. It's not airborne.
They're one of these booty bandits. Let's just leave it alone. But also I call them the WHO World Health Organization. They've also made monkeypox a global. They've announced that it's now a global
pandemic,
health
issue. Yeah.
They have not said it's a pandemic.
Not yet.
They said it's a global health.
It's enough people that got it where it's raise the alert level.
Yep.
So that one
is scared to death. Because
it's not even.
And they did the same thing with COVID. They said COVID was not airborne.
Yeah.
It's going to become airborne.
Now, monkeypox isn't causing people to die, at least as far as we know.
And you know what? Just like them Asians, they quote unquote was being attacked.
Africans? You know African be attacked?
No, it ain't Africans. It's going to be gay men. It's going to be you on a bus and they sit behind you and they breathing.
No.
Yeah, watch.
I don't think it's going to happen.
That's how it's going to be. Because it's airborne. So now you're going to be, every time you look at one of them, they're going to do the same thing. They see one of them coming, they're going to go across the street.
Oh, yeah.
And they're going to be like,
cover their nose. Old people, every time I walk down the street now and the old person is walking the opposite way, they still step off the sidewalk and cover their nose. I'm like, damn.
I do that too.
Look at you. You're an old person.
And guess what? The first frost, you know what was happening? It had to put on their windshield wipers to get literally the oil slick off the window.
That's why I and so damn many other people I grew up have cancer. And why for the longest time, Delaware had the highest cancer rate in the nation.
Now, here he said that people had people had cancer because of their oil. But he didn't have cancer because of the oil. He had cancer, skin cancer. What is he talking about?
Yeah, a lot of them get skin cancer because that sun be
He had
turning
to have
up.
he had to have lesions removed. I think right before the election or something like that. Remember when he disappeared for a few weeks and came back with his face tight as hell?
Kamala did too.
They came back with their skin pulled back,
stretched.
Like, what the hell? Why would you do that? You look crazy, like a
they
skeleton.
been zapped.
And then they had him work out to try to lose weight so he can look more fit. He's 79.
I mean, he wasn't fat.
The point is, somebody said we are a 79-year-old with COVID who's a cancer survivor is the only thing stopping us from getting Kamala Harris as president.
God help us.
God help us. Ain't no way in hell. All right. Americans who can't afford homes are moving to Europe instead.
Going back to their homeland.
So middle class white people are bouncing because they can't afford America no more. So they're going to Europe.
They're quote unquote homeland.
Yeah, homeland. So this is the stuff they worried about. China spent $6.1 billion on U.S. real estate last year.
Can't spend $6.1 billion on any real estate in China though.
Nope, they don't allow.
It's hard to even become a citizen there.
I think the only black, there's only what's his name, Stephon Marbury. He had to win a whole bunch of championships in the Chinese league to become a citizen of China. And he's as crazy as hell himself. 40% of workers are considering quitting their jobs soon.
And they're also going to be considering living out on the street.
So they can't afford America, so they're leaving the country. Chinese are buying up all the homes. BlackRock is buying up all the homes. And now people are saying 40% of the damn people they polled say they want to leave their job.
Oh, people just don't want to work. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm trying to find, people just don't want to work. When they get so now, I don't know if this was everywhere in every state, but now if you if you apply for a job, they give you an offer, you accept the offer, and then the company rescinds the offer, you now can get unemployment.
The game is cold.
So some people they'll do little shitty stuff like, I had to work the weekends?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that was included with the thing.
So you rescind the offer?
So you rescind the offer and say, no, they have to say, I don't want the job. I no longer want the job. You got to get it in writing in an email saying, I have declined the job offer. I don't want it. Not, well, we're no longer going to, no. We just
because they stopping them from getting a job. Yeah.
So we don't rescind. We just say, well, this is the terms of the job and such, and they have to say, are you still interested in the position? Yes or no?
Make them answer. They're like, damn it.
Yeah.
Nikki Haley hints at 2024 presidential run, promises no Iran deal at Christian Zionist rally. If the president signs any sort of Iran nuclear deal, I'll make you a promise. The next president will shred it on her first day in office. So she's clearly running for office, one of them Zionist, super Israel supporters. DeSantis, Nikki Haley. Is Trump going to run if they run?
Yes.
Tim Scott. Who the other? Then there's always some obscure, it's always like 4 or 5 obscure Republican candidates that run and nobody know who the hell they are, and they just run.
May win.
But
You've seen it happen in a lot of cases where it'd be known people you just know gonna win, and then it'd be a random wrench thrown, and they end up winning.
Yeah, another. Speaking of Israel needs to stop being a haven for sex criminals. What happened needs to be a lesson to the Israeli government that sex offenders are not wanted in the country.
Shit.
Now we know in Israel, a lot of the Jewish people from America or Europe, whenever they get hit up with a crime, the first thing they do is escape and run to Israel. So now we know that a lot of sex offenders do it as well. There was a case a few years ago of a, I think she was a Latino chick who was dating a Jewish dude who carried himself like a Puerto Rican. And she was also messing around with a black dude, older black dude as well. The young Jewish dude accused her of giving him an STD, and she told him the only dude she was with the older black dude, which is clearly not true. Clearly there was another dude that she just didn't want him to know about. He ended up making her call the older black dude to meet her, where he then shot. Well, he said he was going to rob the older black dude. He ended up shooting and killing him, and then running off to Israel to try to escape. They ended up getting him back to the country. It turns out that girl also had ties to the Clinton Foundation. But the point is, whenever these Jews or these people commit crimes, they like to run back to Israel for protection, and America allows it. This is one of the few instances where they actually said no to citizenship to somebody who has sex offender charges against them.
Well, some countries they have laws set in places where people go there you can't.
What's that place that the dude, the producer, the director, the infamous director, who was a child molester, the one that Nicki Minaj named herself after, Roman Polanski. Didn't he run to Italy or Spain or one of those places?
One of them.
Australia as well. Australia is known.
Oh, we know. That's where the celebrities be going.
Australia is known for their lax.
That's where they be having their ceremonies.
Yeah, Roman Polanski. Yeah, he didn't go to Israel, but Harris Newsom engaged with donors as possible 2024 bids loom if Biden doesn't run.
So it's gonna be Harris and Newsom running for president and vice president.
That's a terrible.
Jesus,
I can't think of a worse ticket. Newsom is not liked outside of California.
So who's gonna be the vice president? Who's gonna be? She got to run for president. He got to run for vice president.
That's why they got Harris Newsom. The Democrats, Klobuchar, Harris, Newsom, Elizabeth Warren running again? Maybe
Pocahontas.
I don't know. Then you got somebody like Keisha Lance Bottoms. If Stacey Abrams lose in the governor race, does she run for president? Or if she wins, does she run for president? Either way.
Big Burley. No.
I can't think of a good candidate except one.
Who?
Michelle Obama.
Yeah. Well, it would technically be a black man running for president then.
You won't just say it. You just send little shots at her. Say it.
Because when they come to the door and get me, this stuff is going to be reviewed.
Listen, Michelle Obama might be their best candidate with maybe Keisha Lance Bottoms as her vice president. What you think? Would you vote for that ticket?
No, I wouldn't vote for that ticket.
I know you wouldn't. I know you wouldn't vote for it, but do you think that would be a ticket that they could sell?
Black Girl Magic is all over that ticket.
That's a tough ticket to beat. That's a tough ticket. I'm looking at I'm looking at Republicans. I think
Tim Scott.
Tim Scott not doing that shit. I think that
Tim Scott not running for president.
He's not going. I'm saying he's not going to beat no Michelle Obama.
Why not?
He don't have the star power. She's connected to Obama. Although Obama's support is kind of dwindling. The candidates he support don't dominate.
But when Trump go out there and stump for candidates, they win.
They win for the most part. Not all the time, but they win for the most part. So I don't know. Well, we'll see what they decide to do. Biden stops short of declaring climate emergency. Steps on wind power.
What's the climate emergency?
Because it's the heat. They saying there's a heat wave. We see people passing out.
Is a heat wave
drivers?
Here?
Huh?
It's a heat wave here
in America.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where?
Arizona. A lot of places on the East Coast. They saying it's a heat wave.
Arizona is a naturally hot state. They get heat waves all the time.
Well, they said there's heat waves in America. Obviously, throughout Europe, they have fires. Funny enough, there's no fires in the place that normally have fires. California,
Oregon, Washington.
Yeah, California fire season is so unusually quiet that it resembles a normal summer.
I wonder why.
Well, you fired all those firefighters because they didn't want to take that jab, and now you ain't got nobody to take the fires out. All of a sudden, ain't no fires. Not enough firefighters. Fires disappear. What a coinky dink. And then this right here, which is a dangerous story. Hoover Dam transformer explodes. No one hurt. Transformer exploded Tuesday at a Hoover Dam, one of the nation's largest hydroelectric facilities, producing a thick cloud of black smoke and flames that were quickly extinguished. No one was hurt in the explosive near the base of the dam. Engineer marveled the Colorado River and straddles the border of Arizona and Nevada Electricity powered at Hoover Dam continued flowing to 8 million people in Arizona, Nevada, and Southern California who rely on it, the Western Area Power Administration said. So is that right there a possible place where a power shortage could start?
Maybe so.
Because we saw the explosion of the stone hinges, the Georgia hinges as they call them. Somebody just blew them up. Now we're seeing the Hoover Dam had a little explosion. But it seems like they're trying to set it up where we saw them going after the food processing plants, chicken plants, all type of places was getting set on fire across the country.
They ain't burned none down in a couple of weeks.
No, it haven't been reported. People kept putting it together, so it seemed like they just stopped reporting those fires. That's really probably what happened. But a lot of stuff to look forward to in that situation, because if America starts saying we ain't got enough power.
Well, they've been talking about that. They started talking about that 2 years ago. That I think last year they predicted that we were going to have an outage. They didn't know how long it was going to be out for.
Mm-hmm.
I think they predicted it again this year.
Well,
it's supposed to be an outage, power outage.
Oh, you talking about when they said that America's grid was going to be attacked? Yeah. And it never happened.
And then they saying the solar storms could also cause a power outage.
They said it would be Israel. They said it would be what they say? They said it would be Russia.
Yep.
And it never happened. But Russia had electric grid attack, and it just didn't do nothing. So it is what it is. But anyway, man, that's it on that. We went long enough.
Yeah, we went long enough.
We're now gonna be next week should be on our main channel. Anything else you want to say?
Thanks for viewing the channel.
That's it.
That's it.
Anyway, man, y'all please like, comment, subscribe, and share. All praise to the Most High. And peace, man.